afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Thermaltake WEC series. This is round 2. We're at SEBRING tonight. My name is Jaden Rondinella, and that broadcast team is kind of wrong. We don't have Sean Muller tonight, but tonight we do have Cameron Thistlethwaite. So welcome into the booth, mate.
Thanks very much, Jaden. I'll do my best to emulate the high bar that is Sean Muller, but we will saunter on. But here at SEBRING, lovely bumpy SEBRING. Of course, Mr. Jaden Runner, sorry to throw you on the bus straight away, but he asked me, is this a bumpy track? Chat.
Yeah, very rightfully got told off for even asking that question. Yeah,
this is the bumpy track.
But we are, I believe, still in practice, about to head into qualifying in 16 seconds. So everybody's just doing their last laps before they go out for qualifying. Beautiful Lexus out there. Seems like the grid's changed up a little bit. A few of the drivers in different cars today, but should be all-round good racing. Another American track. Is this one of the popular American tracks, Cam?
No. I dare say this rivals, I want to say, Indian COTA on popularity. Actually, some people quite like COTA. I don't find too many people admit they like SEBRING, but I'm quite a fan. But it does bite. It bites hard, this track. I did find out last time I did race LMU. But yeah, a little bit usual. It's got a lot of quirks, the bumps being one of them, but also this pit lane that runs along the back straight between the penultimate corner and the last corner. It is a little bit weird. So if you do start from the pit lane, you're getting an extra penalty because it's quite a bit behind the actual start-finish line. But yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah, for, about 6 kilometer track, very bumpy, a lot of stop-start, a lot of medium-speed corners, a lot of high-speed sections as well, and always quite tricky as well because it's there's a lot of traffic is the main thing in this series as well. We've got GTs and hypercars here at SEBRING, and obviously they all have to play ball if they want to see the checkered. But yep, we're on qualifying, and anyone who hasn't seen this before will be it's private qualifying, so everyone's in their own session. No one sees it. Everyone's got the track all to themselves, so definitely no incident surely.
Yeah, and as we're going out, Mark Bushell out in the Ferrari hypercar, looking beautiful out there. This is the out lap now, so not expecting any times to come up for probably another minute. What were we looking at lap times before? I feel like I've already forgotten how long it was.
I think about mid to high 40s, so about 47. I think that's what I did as well last time I was around here, but these guys will surely go a lot quicker. Probably, yeah, 47, 48, 49s. I think Glen saying there's a 47 in the practice already for the hypers. And I think for the GTs, we're looking at about low 2 minutes, around 2:02s, 2:03s. And yeah, I'm hoping the service improved, that's for sure.
Another thing to note when we're getting into these sessions and everything, there is no tyre warmers in this series, so the car's tyres are very cold coming out, very easy to spin them, especially the hypers that have no TC and no ABS. Is that correct? I believe so.
Yes. So yeah. So they got TC. They got. I wasn't wrong, but they have no ABS. But I believe we are allowing ABS to be enabled if you run it in the assists, so you can run ABS, and obviously that applies for GTs and hypers. But naturally, the hypercars at least only have TC, no ABS.
Okay, so they do have TC. Yeah, that's all right. But the tyres being cold will not feel great right now.
No tyre warmers, like you said.
I believe I heard it took a few laps to get the tyres up in temperature, so they feel nice, but. Obviously not a long qualifying, 8 minutes left already, and they're just about to finish their first flying lap. This is Graham Hill we're seeing right now, currently purple in all sectors.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the back straight because that's where the pits are, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so confusing.
Yep, definly. And if you ever go around this track, you'll remember this last corner. It's this big, long, sweeping right-hander with about 3 different apexes and a lot of bumps on all of them as well. It is incredibly... probably the most punishing final corner on any track ever, I would say. And then you got to chuck it in at high speed left, pretty much a long 90-degree left, and squirrely there for Graham Hill on the exit in the BMW hypercar, running the art car colors that were Le Mans from a few years ago. And there's this twisty section as well where things are all getting all so far, but it is looks like Lucas Keys has now displaced him at the top, already gone to a 47.7. So Lucas at the top, what's new?
Well, hopefully some things, because I know we did see during the practice there was a couple hypers that were going a bit faster than him, so hopefully we'll see some competition up there. Benefield obviously winning last week's race at, I've already forgotten where we were. Where were we last week? Brain's not working. Brazil. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we were, weren't we? So Benefield obviously a high contender for tonight. We also saw Vintner up there in the practice, up at the top of the leaderboards, but we are on board with Lucas right now, who is the current fastest lap of a 47.7, and he's already a 10th up in the first sector.
Yeah, 1/10 up in the Cadillac. He was umming and ahhing what car he was going to run. I think he ran the Porsche last week at Brazil, and was the only real man to really kind of put, I believe, Daniel Benefield under threat as he won the first round and exploring the track limits. And we have to say, I do apologize. We promise we're on Asian servers. The drivers say it's fine for them. Spectator cam is currently still in beta phase, I think, right now. It's nothing on our end, really. We're not too sure what's going on. We do apologize, but rest assured, the drivers say it's fine for them, so we'll still see the battles, hopefully. But yeah, here comes Loopty. No, sorry, Loopty's in the booth with me. Lucas Keys comes through in the Cadillac, and he is going to get within 1/10 of Daniel Benefield, who's already gone to a 46.
Yeah, 46 is a very strong start for Benefield there, and is that 7/10ths up in the first sector?
Yes, it is.
He is flying. He has definitely got the handle of the car. I'm trying to just have a quick look.
He's in a Ferrari, I think.
Is he in the Ferrari?
Yeah, he's got custom livery.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously that Ferrari being very strong. Lucas was in the Porsche last week, in the Porsche hypercar, but switched out for the Cadillac, obviously. Better car for here. Benefield losing a little bit of time in that middle sector there. Only 300ths though, so still on for a very strong lap. Watching as he goes along that back straight where the pits are. Not to be confusing at all, because it definitely is confusing. Yep. And then this is the final turn. This is the one you were saying was a bit of a struggle, one of those ones that are deadly.
There's a big bump on that inside apex, but yeah, Benefield actually went on the inside there. I kind of tended to avoid it when I ran at this track, but Benefield clearly knows best with the pace. But yeah, it's such a weird corner. Already down to a low 46.
That is insane. So Benefield obviously very confident in these hypercars. That's an insane time of 46.
The Ferrari is good round here as well. Like, it is a very decent car. Like, last time I drove it, it was here. I got my only pole position in the Ferrari at Sebring. So yeah, he rapid driver, good car, recipe for success.
Still 4 minutes in this qualifying, still lots of time for things to change up. Obviously, at the moment, we can also see our GT3, our LM GT3 pole sitter is currently Sean Jacobs up in the Lexus with 15 seconds off of the hypercar pace. If my maths is right, that's about a 2-minute 3?
Yeah, about low 2 minutes. I think the track record for a GT is a 59.7. So, but that's with the normal GT3s. The GT3s in this one are bopped a little bit differently, so you don't get the kind of pace that we would see in our ACC fellow GTs. Obviously, different games. You know, it's not real life as well. Lexus as well doesn't exist in ACC. They should bring the Lexus to ACC. It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Some people are going to cry about that one.
Glen, why are you looking at me like that?
So yeah, the strong qualifying for Sean Jacobs there. That's a 2:02. So bringing it closer to that record time a little bit. That's the fastest we've seen from the GT3s today already. In practice, I believe the fastest was a 2:03. So very, very quick there from Sean Jacobs. Followed by Zawali. I believe that's how you say that name, and Lawrence, who Lawrence and Zawali are very close in times there. Look how tiny that gap is. That's 0.05 of a second.
Yeah, definitely really close. Yeah, 500s, and it looks like Jacobs has said, I can go no faster, and parked it. See Harry Lawrence here, a very rapid driver as well, but electing to go with GTs, I believe. Saw him previously in hypercars. He was right up there with Benefield the few times I did see, running the FAF team colours that run at IMSA, so it's a little bit weird to see them in a WEC technical series, but that's the beauty of the custom livery system they're having in game now. And you know, as much as we love all the work that we got with ACC with the synchronized tool that Glen and all the peeps put together, it is nice to have it in an official way, though. Does come at a payment barrier, but looking good. Nice to see a Lamborghini doing actually quite well, unlike ACC.
Yeah, a little bit rare, but another thing to bring up, which I think we've missed, is Benefield has done a 45.9. He's down into the 45s now.
Someone stop this man.
He's going too quick. Lucas is the closest within a second of that time, but still not there yet. Which is, yeah, that's the incredible pace right there from Benefield. So look, I'm not trying to jinx him, but could be on for a win again here at Sebring.
Yeah, looking pretty sure for a bit. All the punters will be on Benefield, but it's multi-class as well, and you do any multi-class dailies, you can learn filtering through traffic is not necessarily something on everyone's foray. We've done a few multi-class races in the ACC, but it's not kind of something we do on the regular, which I think was something that we will probably, while we were on LMU, it's like, why don't we, let's keep it multi-class. It's kind of the fun of LMU as well. Obviously, able to run these different cars in different series. Everyone quite enjoys the hypercars. Potentially might get P2s, who knows, down the lines, and no one's not putting words in anyone's mouth. Oh, so close to the wall there. See what Harry Lawrence could produce now. Goes to a 202.5. It says an improvement, but you say it's still 4/10 off Jacobs. Yeah.
Yeah, very second place there for Lawrence, and with 36 seconds left, I believe, while he's in the pit still. So that will be probably our finishing positions for the GT3s. We're still on board for some laps here. Benny Vintner is currently in third. I don't think he's going to make it for a second or first place within the hypers. I don't think he's made up enough time. Underwood calling out us a little bit with the Lamborghini, with him being able to get a P4 last night in the car in ACC, so maybe a little bit too soon on the calling out of the Lambo, but
stand by what I said.
And that's fair. Vincent obviously coming around the last turn now in the hyper. Looks like he's taken your advice and kind of skipping out a bit wide of that inside that turn. Pushing around the last turn. I don't believe it's going to be enough to... Yep. It's keeping it in third. Benefield,
so close to
then Keys, and then Vincent up. That's our top three. Oh, Dreyer is also there in fourth. Dreyer. And Johnston in fifth for our hypers. And our GT3s, we've got Jacobs in first, who ran a strong race last week. Lawrence in second, Zwali in third. Mokhtar in fourth, and McCulley in fifth. So that's our LM GT3s as well. Not much of a gap between the two. I'd say the hypers have a bit more of a gap. There's 2 second gap between the top 5, and there's only a second and a half between the top 5 in the GT3s. And McCulley's still coming around for one more lap, so we'll see if there's any improvements there from Phil McCulley in the AMG. That is a beautiful car with that Iron Lynx livery, which me and Muller had a little fascination with last week. It was a bit beautiful. McCulley not being able to improve too much, and it's still 5th place for him.
Yeah, I got it from McCulley. I was a little bit confused when they all went purple, but he didn't improve at all. Just to throw us off, obviously, things are still a little bit work in progress on this game. But yeah, good to see, and obviously seeing AMG up there. Seeing quite a few front engine cars for the GTs. It's kind of a little bit of an indicator. You do use a lot of curb, and obviously we talked about the bumps as well. Helps it, keep things balanced a little bit better. But yeah, generally the gap up for the hypercars does appear to be a little bit of a wider spread, and yeah, that's kind of par for the territory as well when it comes to the faster the car, the more the driver really kind of could sometimes make the difference, and sometimes that's what the field spread you get. So, between 5 seconds between the whole hypercar field, but things quite close in GTs. Kind of bread and butter for this series.
Some sneaky news. It seems that an accidental error has been made and tyre warmers are on. So the drivers going to have a bit of a better start, especially when they were coming out of the pit. So that probably explains a bit of the speed that they have. Tyre warmers were on this time around.
And drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Just a little clerical error from Sunday, but that's all right. It still doesn't change the racing, still doesn't change too much, except for maybe stopping a couple of spins on the outlap there, but it seems to have worked all right. We are about to move into the race in 1 minute and 6 seconds, as everybody will start to grid up now. A decent-sized grid for tonight, it seems, so I'm very excited to see all these cars on the track, and it looks like the GT3 field is going to be holding with most of the cars, and I believe that's 32 cars we have altogether.
Yeah, definitely looks around about that, and yeah, plenty of cars and plenty of cars to negotiate with 12 hypers and I'm guessing 20 GTs, so a lot of cars to negotiate, and you see, like, especially the last part of this track as well, this third sector that we're kind of looking at now, part of the corners. You can see how it's a very fast, it's very single line at the same time as well, so you know, you can't just be full send in the hypers. You got to negotiate the traffic smartly, and sometimes, you know, sometimes you just can't get past, and you have to use that thing called the brake.
Imagine using a brake. I'd never heard of using that. 6 seconds left, 5 seconds. Cam, you'll be taking us away for the race start. I'll let you kind of give us a bit of an introduction for the formation lap as well, which I believe is a short one, isn't it, usually? So I'll let you take us away.
Yeah, looks to be a short formation, and definitely no tyre concerns with the tyre warmers as well, and only really a kind of concern for some of the LMDHs, the rear-wheel drive only cars, and some of the mid-engine GTs, I'd say. But seeing the Toyota there, Vintonet still trying to get some tyre warmers in. And yeah, Vintonet was pretty quick around this track, so we've got 2 Toyotas on the second row for Vintonet and Dreyer. Peugeot Johnson on the 5th row, at the second Ferrari Bushel for P6, but it is going to be Benefield and Lucas Keys into turn 1. Benefield will have the inside line, and we'll see how their reactions get on as well. It is you know, these cars, they got a lot of power to put down. There's a lot of electrical energy. We're here for round 2 of the Thermaltake Sprint Series for, well, not really Sprint Series, but the WEC Series here for LMU. It's great to have our own servers, and looks like we're going to be waiting, and it looks like it's green flag, and Benefield's already had a good jump over Keys as well. The 2 Toyotas are scrabbling between each other. It's still going to be Vinter and P3, so close to the rear wing of Lucas Keys, but all good so far. We see the yellow Ferrari and the Peugeot getting so close, but onto the grass there for Mark Bushel. He avoids the back of Dreyer, but gets things stopped and nicely filtered in. It's a very good driving from the hyperpure field so far, and it is clean. Oh, very squirrely out the exit there for Dreyer as well, as it got to the GT field, still headed up by Harry Lawrence, so not too sure what's happened to the Lexus. It looks like it's in P3 there for our GT pole position, with the BMW getting through as well, I believe, as Zuhali, but it's going to be headed up by Harry Lawrence in the FAF Lamborghini colours as they chase the hypercars, slowly disappearing up ahead, with another BMW just behind. I believe that is Mokhtar behind Jacobs as well, so our GT class winner from Interlagos is already down to P3 and surely going to be looking to retake his P1.
Yeah, not the best start there for Sean Jacobs, but can I just say how awesome that looked to the start of the race, where all the cars just kind of spread out across. Obviously saw some lockups from the hypers in that second turn. ABS obviously not working too well because they don't have one. But the field's starting to spread. Don't mind the timing board. It does have a few issues still with that's LMU side, but we'll get over it. Obviously currently got Lawrence leading the race in that Lamborghini. Very, very strong start there from that driver who started second, and yeah, it's looking like a very strong field out there as we watch just an empty track as the drivers have all gone past. Got a few cars out there as well. I think I noticed on the prototypes we're running a
front left red marked tyre, red marked not Pirelli, Michelin, and it's you got to remember it's for the tyre markings for at least the hypercars. It is a kind of the opposite of the F1 Pirellis. The red is the hard compound, followed by the white is the softest, but the yellow is sort of the middle. I did see a few of them run a harder compound front left because you do use the front left a lot around this clockwise circuit. I'm seeing there's a few bit of fighting back there with Jacobs and Mokhtar, but it's still going to be headed up by Harry Lawrence in the Lamborghini. Zuhali still on his tails. And I do love some of the custom liveries out there. Looks like McCulley is on the coattails as well from Mokhtar. But it's still going to be for hypercars. Benefield from Keys, from Vincent Dreyer and Johnston. I don't think there's really actually any changes for position in the hypercar field. So Lucas in the Wayland 311 Racing Cadillac. Just getting all sorts of sideways and negotiating his way down into turn 10 right now. Ready to start the third sector. And I reckon we're probably about 5 or 6 laps away from these guys already starting to lap the GTs. It's a 45-minute race as well. We're not expecting anyone to, you know, let's say do an intentional pit stop. You know, the kind of plan is to basically no stop this race. Every car can do the 45 minutes on full tank of gas and virtual energy as boot as well. Maybe a little save here and there, but should be able to do 45 minutes quite easily. It's more about preservation. We see the Peugeot there up the inside of Dreyer. I believe that is Johnston, so he's going to be taking P4 by the looks of things, and see if he comes out of the last corner. Oh, also wide, also close to the barrier, but it looks like he's got the move done on the Mosaic Toyota. He's Johnson up into P4 right now.
And that's a great move in the dangerous last corner. As you said, that corner is hard enough as it is, so very good move to pull off. Obviously not fully over yet, as it looks like Dreyer's getting right up behind him again, obviously not wanting to let him get away with that too easily. A good little battle here for 4th place between these two. Oh, it looks like a little bit of dirt pickup there, so lost a bit of time against the back of Johnston as well, so not the greatest spot. Yellow flags appearing but disappearing just as quick, so cars back on the move. It's up again, so I'm a little bit concerned.
It looks like there's a few chop and changes in the GT positions. Looks like Mokhtar has disappeared from the top 5 on the timing board, so potentially he might have dropped down. Treberg, we can see there 3 positions up. You obviously saw Sean Jacobs as well, down 2 positions as well. Let's get the sort of data, all the kind of options we can get on the timing board. Still Harry Lawrence going to be leading the way. Seeing here Chris Brooker now in P10 in the BMW. Probably seen more BMW M4s in this one race than I have seen in about 3 seasons of a Sprint Series.
Don't want to call out BMW, not a great car.
Not a popular car at all anymore, sadly. And going into the last corner, it's a very difficult. It's pretty much almost a hard stop hairpin, but it's still got to get things nicely stopped. See a few Lexuses up ahead. So it's great to see all these mix of different cars, a few McLarens as well. It's not just a front engine fest. Not too sure who he's on the coattails of right now, but it looks like the 2 Lexuses kind of leading up this little pack as well.
Yeah, and it's looking like a great drive from a lot of these drivers. This BMW right here, which is Chris Brooker, looking like he wants to make a move on the McLaren just ahead of him, of Quack. That's a interesting looking McLaren, nice papaya orange, as the F1 fans would love about it. But yeah, looking to probably make a move soon, getting right up close. But the McLaren also looking at a move on Diebold's. Ben Curtis over in the Lexus just ahead. So a few Lexus on this grid as well. I'm only seeing one Aston out here though, which is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, it looks like we've just got one Aston.
Mokhtar is DNF, by the way.
Oh no, I did see a yellow flag there with someone like you called before. Not too sure what's happened, whether it's him retiring or whether it's actually a damage-related retirement. It's clearly not gone to plan whatsoever. It looks like Craig Busk is leading up this pack as well. Diebold's in the other Lexus, followed by the McLaren, the Quack as well. And Lloyd in the other McLaren behind it. And yeah, the sort of papaya colours, it's Zach Brown's United Autosport team that runs those McLarens, eagerly awaiting until they get the McLaren hypercar. I'm sure we'll feature some orange as well.
Yeah, I'd assume so. But this little battle pack going on for, I believe this is for 7th place, with the two Lexi. Oh, and Brooke has managed to make a move on the McLaren just behind this camera. Don't know when that happened, but he's managed to get past, and that's another spot right there for Brooker. Oh wait, that Quack's dropped quite a few positions. He's down to 13th now.
Dear, oh dear. I'm not too sure what's going on. He is doing that's a lot of steering angle just to go for a rate. Oh, yeah, he's got steering damage. There's clearly been incident. He's on the grass. Don't break on the grass.
Look, I'm not seeing...
dear, dear. He'll get it stopped and get it round, but they're taking the wide line, that's for sure.
They're not too great, especially this early into the race. Only 37 minutes left of the race, and obviously an issue's happened there. Hopefully no contact between two cars, and it was just an error, but it's not looking great for that McLaren. Decent amount of damage to get the steering wheel on an angle like that, so I'm assuming a wall was involved.
Yeah, definitely something pretty solid, whether it's another competitor or a wall. But unfortunately, we're still kind of getting to grips with LMU. We don't really have the replay system that we have in the ACC right now, and there's definitely a few improvements will be had on the whole spectator side, but it does do some pretty cool things, I have to say, the spectator side for LMU that ACC doesn't. Although it's on board now. Keelan Druryberg in 5th place, chasing down McCulley in the aforementioned Iron Lynx Mercedes. Not too far behind, and you can see just the leaders just up ahead as well. In the gaps now will become very irrelevant once the hypercars come through the field, I imagine. But fine for all the GT guys.
We've had a message from the stewards team letting us know that the car 808 has been given a DT for collision and rejoin. That would be Curry in the hypercar Toyota GR010, which is one of the hypercars. So obviously collision out there. I'm not sure where that happened, and I don't think with the current setup we have for this one we'll be able to go back and re-watch it maybe, but yeah, so that if you see someone out there with a DT, that's why. Yeah,
and the stewards, the only option they can give is a drive-through penalty, but they're definitely not giving it. They're not giving out for anything. It's to get a pretty severe. Had to have done something pretty severe in essentially a collision and a rejoin. Bad rejoins are punished accordingly, I dare say, in Octane, as they should be as well. There's no reason in the sim not to look where you're going before you rejoin.
Yeah, and in hypers, I can understand it being a little bit harder to see, but
got track map, you got radar.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, like it is like looking for a post buckets a little bit, but you got so many other tools. Imagine how hard it is in real life.
Another thing to look at as well is Quack, the McLaren we saw with the damage, has DNF'd, so not great. And there's a few cars in the pit as well. I believe we just saw about 5-6 cars in the pit, so I'm wondering if there was a bit more collision. Oh, here we do have a replay of this is Quack's incident earlier on.
Looks to be about turn 5, and okay.
Oh, we've got
not too sure.
Oh, there we go. Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay.
Ooh, not too sure what happened there.
Maybe a bit of a lock-up and just gone very wide. I don't believe there was any cars too near.
There is a gentle right-hander just before that corner, and I wonder if he just got a little bit unhooked. So he goes to the left, and then it kind of cut over right. He's just got a bit of a sapping, or maybe he's...
The car's just gone. Oh.
That's weird. I don't know anymore.
That was a little bit confusing.
I think there might have been. I know the spectator cam's been a bit jittery, but it's 5 for the drivers. I think there might have been a bit of weird lag at the same time, considering he disappeared to pits, then came back to have his crash.
I'm concerned to call anything on that one, but looking at it, maybe he just got a bit loose, tapped the first curve, and then just slid out. But I don't understand. I believe maybe we'll get a message from Quack a bit later on about what actually happened, but that did not look too great for the car, and that's obviously why they had the steering damage.
I know what it is. Loopy spilt his hair gel at that corner. He just
you know what?
flew off the track.
I made him put slick tyres on a wet track. That's my bad.
I didn't even have to mention it.
No, I'll mention it happily. That's all right. Yep, so a few cars still in the pit. James, Leo, and Ryan are currently in the pits. They've been in the pits for a few minutes. So I'm wondering if they picked up a bit of damage, maybe from the hypercar rejoin, maybe from something else. I'm not too sure, but not great to see those cars, especially the only Aston on the field inside the pits. And same with the only Ford.
Yeah, there's a few weird ones. I'm not too sure if everyone's just kind of had incidents. Oh, I'm seeing Benefield. He's coming through the pack. You just saw the Ferrari, the leader, coming through the field right now. So it's already begun. Definitely have to watch things go on. Definitely easy place to get past in this corner somewhat, because you can use the downforce. You can go into sort of offlines in the hypercars. It's more sort of the slow speed section, so it's kind of difficult. Oh, it's decisive. Where's he going to filter between these two? Wasn't too sure where he was going to go for it like that into turn one. He was kind of arriving just at the last minute, but he got past and was rewarded for it. He's already, looks like he's built a big gap over Lucas Keys as well. He's absolutely dominating right now is Daniel Benefield.
Yeah, Benefield, this is where Benefield really, like, we saw a lot of experience there from Benefield in the hypercars last week. Benefield was able to pretty easily make it through the field of the GT. Oh, looking a little bit spicy there. Decently easily able to make it through the field of GT3 cars, and it built a gap pretty much every time they went through the GT3 cars. So unless Lucas is able to pick up maybe his game a little bit and push through them a bit faster, Benefield, I think, will be able to hold on for a very nice gap there between him and Lucas.
Yeah, and he's running the same machinery that he already knows as well, whereas Lucas likes to play musical cars, running the Cadillac right now. Not the complete biggest departure from the 963, but still a decent car. But obviously, take a little bit of time to getting up to speed somewhat. But even so, I think Benefield, with the pace that he's shown over the rest of the field, I think, what was it, nearly 1 second quicker than Lucas in qualifying. I think it's pretty safe to say he might have he was going to be a strong contender regardless of anything. But going well so far. He just needs to keep negotiating the traffic nice and easy. It's kind of to Lucas as well. Still navigating through a few of these cars. Interesting, he's running the harder tire on the rear left. You can see the red markings as opposed to the yellow markings. I wonder what he's just the rear left by the looks of things. So clearly he feels like that tire is being run the hardest.
To answer some questions in the chat while we just have a little bit of a moment, the lap time difference between the two cars is about 15 seconds. The Hypers were doing a 1:45 in qualifying somehow, but the GT3s were doing a 2:02, I think, was the fastest lap that we had in qualifying between the top drivers. So a bit of a gap there between the two classes. And we've also got some news about the incident that happened with McLaren. It was a lag spike / micro DC, he had said. So unfortunate. And then about two of the cars as well had signed up but did not start. So they're just in the pits for that reason.
Yeah, and yeah, that makes sense as well. And I'm just hanging around. Pretty sure you'll still. I'm not too sure if he's running the same points convention as ACC, but if you're just still here in the server, and I think as long as you're in the top 30, you got to still score points. Not sure if it's any different for not anymore apparently. So scratch that. But never mind. Yeah. Finish the race. Otherwise, you get nada.
It's 75%. Come on, be honest. Which is look, that's fair enough.
No,
if you come
winner only gets points.
Winner only, yeah. Screw everybody else. Lucas not having. Oh, no, sorry, that's Vincent. Vincent with Johnston, pretty close on his tail right there. So Johnston in the what is that car?
Peugeot.
Oh, it's the Peugeot. Okay, Johnston in the Peugeot following the Toyota of Vincent. A very, very close battle between these two. Definitely not the same car brand.
Oh, sorry. In the distance, I saw two cars going side by side through the last corner. Not too sure if anything's if those two have survived that. But yeah, these two have been pretty close. We saw Johnson make that move on Dreyer pretty early into the race. Toyota is apparently it's a nice car. I've never driven it. Some people say it's nice, some say it's not. Some people say it's okay, some people say it's not. So who knows anymore? We're all still kind of finding our feet a little bit. Still a few GT cars to negotiate. And obviously trying to get things stopped as well into these braking zones with no ABS unless they're running the assists. Definitely a good opportunity, good passing point for the hypercars at this part of the track as well, just getting them on the straights.
Yeah, another thing to remember is that GT3s don't really necessarily have to give way in the terms of they just got to keep their racing line. The hypers are definitely fast enough to make it around everywhere, and so it's definitely one of those things where the GT3s, if they hold their line, it should be all safe. And the hypers have enough downforce to make it around the outside on any corner just as fast as they normally would. Another yellow flag out there. I don't like seeing that yellow flag appear and not having like a track map. I think that's the one thing that LMU is missing at the moment, is that track map to see where this yellow is.
Yeah,
at least for spectator.
At least, yeah, it would be kind of good for us, even when we're driving as well. Like, I kind of look around, as soon as I see that yellow, I always try to scan and make sure it's not immediately something I'm about to encounter. And yeah, track map is a very, very handy tool if you utilize it well. These two still battling on, still the two LMHs as well. Both got the sort of part-time four-wheel drivers. They've got the electric motors on the front wheels, unlike the LMDHs. Going strong. They're all very twitchy through this tight, sort of twisty section as well. They definitely a bit of a handful. It looks like Vinton is still at the pace to keep Johnson at bay. And it's actually Lucas just up ahead from these guys. He's not actually that far ahead. I saw something prototype shaped just ahead.
Seen that as well, so that must, I'm gonna guess that's Lucas just up ahead, not too far. The camera, there we go, there he is. Kind of in just a little bit of clean air at the moment. We're gonna see the gap, yeah, so really not that much of a gap between the fight for second, third and fourth at the moment. So they I believe probably will start to make a bit of time on Lucas. Benefield kind of just chilling up at the front with a bit of clean air. Lucas looking a little bit squirrely through there. I'm not sure if that's the broadcasting angle, but it does look like he gets a little bit sideways sometimes.
You do get very sideways on getting the power down, like, to be honest, all these cars, but especially stuff like the Cadillac. It's all power to the rear wheels.
Oh, there's been a position change in the GT3s. Lawrence has fallen behind Jacobs. So Jacobs has made up the two positions he lost at the start and is now back up into first place. So Jacobs finding his ground. I'm wondering if there's something that happened there with Lawrence and to make that happen. But that's a very good move if it was just an on-track thing. Some more movement across the board as well. Brook is now up to 6th. When we were watching him before, he was on 9th. So that's another 3 positions gained for Brooker as well.
Yeah, overall, the most positions gained from his qualifying position. Seen at 8 up, and they're doing very well so far. It looks like it's potentially. We saw a few things. Obviously, Mokhtar clearly had a moment crack as well, unfortunately. But I'm hoping there hasn't been any real incidents involving the hypercars and the GTs. See now the Alpine, I believe that's Callum Lloyd coming through these GTs right now. Still going along. So yeah, we did last time we checked in with this lot. Like, Jacobs was behind Zuhali, who was behind I believe Lawrence, and Lawrence has gone back to second, and Zuhali's gone back to third, with Jacobs getting past all of them as well. So quite a big change for position.
Yeah, those 3 back in their qualifying positions. So clearly some decent size must have happened. I'm wondering if there was maybe a little bit of contact between Lawrence and Zuali, which has caused this, because Zuali's like nowhere to be seen all the way back there. Kind of in the background of the cameras at the moment. You'll see him just back there. So maybe a little bit of contact there, but not too sure. All we know right now is Sean Jacobs is leading the LM GT3s, and it's still Benefield leading the hypercars over at the front here at Sebring for round 2.
Yeah, and we're seeing Lawrence is really pushing to stay with Sean Jacobs right now as well. I dare say, Zahali is dropping back, and these two seem to be got the most pace. And from what I've seen of Harry Lawrence before, and obviously Shane Jacobs won last round, the previous round at Brazil, and put it on pole. Not too surprising, these two are some of the strongest candidates out there for GT Honours. I'm sure Harry would like to get ahead of the Lexus. I'm not too sure if everything is the straight line performance is as relative in this as it is in the ACC. I don't think it'll be as extreme.
If we're able to, are we able to move the cameras over to Brooker and Dryberg? They seem to be having a battle over there. I keep seeing their positions change up on the camera, which might have been due to the hypercar that was going. But very close battle here between the two BMWs. I've seen them change a couple positions while we're watching Jacobs and Lawrence.
Oh, you can see a little bit of front damage on the front right corner of that purple BMW. And definitely really under threat a little bit from Brooker as well. And looks like they've gone past. I think these two were behind the Lexus of Busk and Diables when we last checked in. And looks like they've both gone ahead. But Brooker really on it as well, trying to stick with the Drewberg's BMW. He's got a good run here. Seems to be gaining quite a lot as well, so maybe that might be a bit of a aero damage on the purple BMW, but it looks he doesn't want to go for the move into this corner. It is quite a bit of a commitment. And send it
Lexus
around.
on Lexus action behind as well, as it looks like one of them go very wide around that final turn. Still almost side by side. I don't believe the move was fully made though. They're still side by side. That's looking squirrely back there. So some good action down here in the kind of the middle field of the GT3s at the moment, as they're all trying to get their positions up and make some points, as well as the hypers coming past, as you do see right here. Diabol's still there up in the front, looking very, very strong. 8th position currently. But yeah, this Lexus versus Lexus battle is going very well, and the same with the BMW versus BMW. It seems like that's the way to go. Go with the same class as the people you're battling, it seems.
Yeah, going along so far. Looks like Battlefield has gotten through all these guys. No dramas so far, and he needs to keep going and keep making sure he clears them. Okay, so yeah, potentially that's all he kind of needs to do. He's clearly got the pace over it, and he just needs to keep negotiating the cars one by one and not get into any silly moves.
Yeah, not the time to get silly moves, especially with only 20 minutes left of the race. And some more moves around. King McCulley changing positions up in the top 5 there. That's Mercedes on Mercedes action. So as I said, everyone's kind of like, whoever's battling seems to be people in the same kind of car. Chris Brooker having an amazing race there, and this is, we're on with King now, who just overtook McCulley in the Mercedes, and McCulley's decent way behind, so that's a really good move to get that far. I'm wondering if McCulley had maybe had a little bit of a spin or something back there, because that's a huge gap between those two cars. Back on board with Dryberg in the custom livery on the BMW there. Beautiful purple. And then followed very closely behind by Brooker. And look at this. Oh, the hypercar's coming down. There's a bit of a gap now between the Lexus and the two Lexus cars back there as well. Diabol's getting a little bit of a gap on Busk as they go through with the hypercar coming through. I believe that's Lucas Keys in the oh, was that? Oh, I don't know if that was sketchy contact or something, but that looked scary.
Yeah, again, very, very close to comfort right there. The cars are not. Don't think we're not really seeing them where they actually are for the drivers, and it's making things very tetchy for us at least. I'm sure it's probably not too easy for the drivers either. We're seeing the Peugeot there. I think that's Johnson and now having to come through these guys as well, and hopefully not too ideal. Where Lucas caught those cars as well is kind of one of the worst places to catch him as well. Like it's barely wide enough for any two GTs, let alone hypercars as well. He gets it nicely done. Ooh, a little bit of lockup and goes deep. And it looks like Johnson has actually gone ahead of Vincent and just seen the red Toyota there in the background.
So yeah, a few moves going around at the moment. So Hypercar's also having some changes. Obviously the traffic is, I'm going to say, playing a big part at the moment. As we can see here on the stream at the moment, they kind of get just a little bit held up, and it's a matter of milliseconds and seconds, and it sometimes is long enough for another car to catch or another car to get a pass off. So one of those things where kind of both classes have to be conscious of each other, and I don't think it's easy on these GT3 cars having the hypers come through, because you've got to be so careful about what you're doing. But these hypers, it'd be so scary running through those people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, speaking of which, the leaders going through on the GT leaders, that P1 from the hypercars just got past these guys as they're fighting for the lead of the GT field as well. Did look really close, and Harry Lawrence is trying to capitalize, but Shane Jacobs holds true and is going to hold the lead. But it's still everything to go. We're pretty much, we're past halfway. We're getting close to 1/3 left. And yeah, hoping everyone's done. It should be fine, especially the GTs. They should be fine, completely fine on fuel to push, no saving at all. Maybe some hypers might need to save a bit, because I think they can they generally do about 45 minutes. So if they're a little bit thirsty, they might have to do a little bit, but we'll see how things go to the end. And especially when you're battling, though, fuel saving is really not on your mind.
Yeah, look, this is where the problems come for the hypers and the GT3s. Is when the GT3s are in such a locked battle, and then you have the hypers in a locked battle. It's like, do you really want to try to give way? And then you're kind of giving away position, and then it's a lot of effort. But these drivers are navigating it pretty well perfectly at the moment, so I'm not seeing really any issues with the way that they're driving, and it seems to be working out quite well. And seeing just a little bit of a different line between the Lamborghini and the Lexus. The Lambo actually getting right up on the back right there of Jacobs. This is getting very spicy between the Lamborghini and the Lexus.
That was definitely so close to being a touch. He's in the slipstream. I'm not sure if he's gaining too much. The slipstream effect is not that as powerful in a LMU, especially as he can't. And Harry Lawrence going for the wide line. It might be a bit too wide, but he gets it tucked back in, trying to do a crisscross. But it's so tricky to get it done with all the bumps as well, all kicking into TC. And it is status quo for Jacobs and Lawrence. Lawrence edging a little bit closer, but they're gonna have to get into turn one. He's way too far back to send it up the inside. He's right there though, on the tails of the Lexus RCF GT3. Two wheels in the dirt as well as he negotiates turn one, and braking late for turn two. Should be a good set of corners for the Lambo, but he can't use the curb like the Lexus. And we go right, left, and left again. And a short back down straight into the hairpin at turn 7. And it's so close. There we go. The Cadillac of Lucas Keys flies past as well. So these two, you're just trying to fight each other, trying to push the car so hard, but the hypers are all coming through as well. Oh, that's actually very deep there from Jacobs, and it's an opportunity now for Harry Lawrence. It's touch and close. It's a little bit of wheel banging mirror to mirror, and it looks like Harry Lawrence is going to have the inside line for the next couple of corners. Short outside for this sweeping left, but surely he's half a car length ahead. It's going to get every day done ahead of Sean Jacobs right now.
And that's how quickly a position can be changed. There's just a minor mistake there, going a little bit wide, maybe braking just the tiniest bit too late into that turn, and it just was enough for Lawrence to be able to push through and gain a position up into first now with 14 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. But of course, we've still got all this action to go. Hypercars are coming through and everything, so anything could change any time now.
Absolutely. With every hypercar trying to get past these guys, it's another opportunity for Sean Jacobs to take back his lead, and it's all kind of books and balances. But yeah, definitely great battle, great driving between these two as well. We saw coming into turn 7 of the hairpin, like the Lamborghini of Lawrence, he just kind of did a little bit of a fake dive. He went to the inside, but he wasn't sending it. He braked at his normal point, but I think he just distracted Jacobs enough, and Jacobs went deep into that corner, allowed Lawrence to pull alongside, and then have the inside for the next corner as well. And it's like they've got the few cars. Oh, that's so wide. Surely he touched the barrier there. I'm not too certain, but it's ever so close. Harry Lawrence right there. Great battling, I have to say.
Yeah, that looked very, very close to the barrier there. Might be missing his wing mirror at the moment, but still going on strong. Doesn't look like any damage if he did touch the barrier. So Harry Lawrence very clean out of that turn, and they are coming through probably one of the more technical parts of the track, which is this few S's as they go along. But it looks like the Lexus might have a little bit more pace through there as well. There's just gaining a little bit time on the back of that Lamborghini. But yeah, very, very, very strong race between these two. And it's, as Rob Underwood has said, it's what a battle.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it'll be interesting to see what Harry Owens can do now. Now he's got free air in the Lamborghini against the Lexus. Will he pull away? Will it stay as close as it was before or the other way around? But we shall see. And great to see those two battling. Not to say that, you know, in hypercar there isn't battles going, but, you know, for the lead, for the GT lead, that was class.
And we've missed it as well. Dreyer has lost 2 positions down to 6th. Johnston all the way up into 3rd now, and Vinton has gone down to 4th. So some moves around in the hypers, and Bushell getting very wide there. Oh my god.
Yeah, definitely a little bit squarely on the exit as well. You may have electric motors on the front axle of the Ferrari, but can still get ever so wiggly on the exits. You know, TC frankly does work in this game for most of these cars, so you know you can kind of turn it up and you can actually be more helpful. But yeah, he's Mark Bushell there has gone ahead of Leo Dreyer in the Mosaic Toyota just behind. Obviously, I'm not too sure if I've seen Leo drive LMU much, so you know, maybe there's obviously a lot of newcomers to LMU. There's a lot to learn, and to tell you what, like I never driven prototypes really properly before, and it was great to learn. And it was like, you know, just when you learn something new and it's fun and it's really engaging, it's like it's you kind of soak up the information, and even when you think you got it cracked, you're probably still missing probably a few seconds for the fast guys.
Yeah, it's a very fine margin, and I compared it, I believe, with Sean Muller last week about the hypercars to the F1 cars as well. Just the easy comparison to make between the two. Obviously, that looks like there's a little bit of damage on the car.
Yeah, that steering doesn't look doesn't look straight. I wonder if you can see also. I know his livery's got like a bit of a artistic flair. It's got like sort of like that pattern, but it kind of seemed a bit of the creasing on the front left and just out of the windscreen there as well. I wonder if he's found the barrier and bent the steering. He's doing well to keep going with bent steering, because I bent my steering and found it undrivable.
Yeah, and we saw how much the bent steering can affect a GT3. I don't imagine it'd feel any nicer in a hypercar, probably a little bit worse. So even that tiny bit of steering, like you can see it's only the tiniest bit to the left, but that's a lot, especially for a car that can has this much downforce and this much speed. So he seems to be handling it quite well, and that's probably where the 2 positions lost has come from, I'm going to say. Yeah,
and definitely won't be helping his pace. Like, to be honest, not to keep talking about my last experience here, but I was coming into this corner, just was a little bit too much of a send, trying to catch Caddy Corey, and found the wall on the outside, just on that bridge on the right hand side of our view. Bent the steering, came and I was like, oh dear. It's like, all right, I'll keep going. Went through that straight and got to turn 2. Tried to brake at my normal point, like really heavy braking with a bent steering, and found myself on the grass, and then found the wall. Yeah, you can't push when you got bent steering like that.
Not where you want to end up in a race. Is the wall was probably last place. Just having a look through the list, Brooker has lost a couple of positions now behind Dryberg and Curtis in the LMGT3s. Lawrence holding now a strong lead against Jacobs as well. He's still in 3rd place, probably a little bit behind King, who made up 3 positions from the qualifying, is doing quite well to be in 4th at the moment. McCulley still sitting in 5th. As I was saying before, Dryberg has managed to get out ahead of Brooker, and Benjamin Curtis has managed to make up 5 positions from qualifying. Is now in front of Brooker, who had 8 positions made up, is now in 6 positions made up. So that's back down to 8th for Brooker.
Yeah, kind of ebbing, flowing a little bit. He was ahead of Diabol's when we last saw him, but he's going through. See the Toyota, and you know, ducking and diving between all these cars. I hope it negotiates safely. It looks like Drieberg there, just on the back of McCulley in the Iron Lynx Mercedes. And oh my god, there's the leader already coming through as well. The hypercar leader. Oh, I hope the Mercedes saw him. Looks like he did.
Very close battle here. So this is what we're talking about with the ebbing and flowing. Brooker right behind Diabol still, and Diabol's right behind Dryberg.
Might go for a move.
McCulley's, come further back, so looks like Dryberg's going to go for a move right here on McCulley, going on for the outside. I don't know if that's a great choice for this turn.
Looks like it was kind of forced to go to the outside as there was kind of late defense from the Mercedes. And he's holding around the outside a little bit on the grass. Still going to be side by side. It's deja vu again for these GTs, but it looks like the Mercedes has edged ahead. It looked like it was kind of looking at the inside, and it was kind of a bit of a late move. He's having to defend the Mercedes, and Dryberg around the outside in the purple BMW again around shortly, but he's going to have the inside line for these next 2 corners. Oh, just about, and he looks like he has gone ahead. It's a great move from Dryberg there to get ahead of the yellow Mercedes, and the Lexus is coming through as well. Brakes late, does late braking there from the Mercedes, and does get it turned in, so thankfully didn't lose one more position. But the other BMW, the Ben BMW, wants a bit of fight in this as well, getting pushed onto the grass there by the Lexus. Everyone needs to, I'm really hoping everyone needs to calm down, because we're a few incidents, a few more moments like that away from sending a few of these guys to the scrapyard, surely.
You would think so. With only 7 minutes and 30 seconds left of this race, it is getting very hot out there. A few moves wanting to be made, and as the pack bunched up, everyone was trying to get their move off as quick as possible, and I'm expecting more moves from this anytime soon. Is that Lucas going out on the grass back there?
Classic.
But that, a very, very close battling there, and it's looking like it's going to continue on. And it looks like McCulley's made it back around Dryberg in the final turn. So I believe that was around the outside. Maybe that's the play to go with the cars here. And McCulley holding back onto P5. This is a battle for 5th between these 4 cars right there.
Surely there must have been a mistake from Dryberg as well. Like, sometimes the passer's like, oh, that's definitely a mistake from Dryberg there, that's for sure. And loses out. Thankfully, doesn't lose control or position to the Lexus. But not too sure what happened there. It looked like he didn't seem was on the threat from the Mercedes, and next thing you know, he's already been overtaken by it as well. But coming out under the bridge, he looks like he's got to kind of do all that work again. So they space out a bit, but here comes the red Cadillac of Lucas Keys as well. And it's interesting to see how he sides through these guys. They're all fighting for a position, but they've got to be aware of these hypers. It gets past 1, 2, the Lexus is displaced. Now the BMW and the Mercedes BMW is done. Oh, the Mercedes doesn't go left, right, and it's going to have Lucas on the outside. He goes deep, and really going deep, and Lucas does get around the outside. The Mercedes looks like he's still got to hold the position over the BMW. It is going to be also close, but oh, goodness gracious. Oh, no, he's got through, but he's gone wide again, and he's going to be back through. The Lexus is now his. Is it 3 wide now going into turn 8? Surely not. The side by side. The BMW is up the inside as well for the bench. Surely. Oh, the Mercedes is gone. It's over. The wing is gone. He's gone around. It's surely day done for Phil McCulley.
Way to end that battle, and it's still going on between Diebold and Brooker. Oh my gosh, my brain. Jeez, that was intense. That was 3 wide to 2 wide for 4 cars, and then it was just...
It was got to end in tears.
It just had to 3 wide to that turn. It's just not going to happen. And
it's still got to end in tears. No,
there's so much...
Oh, it's so wide from the Lexus. And here comes the Peugeot as well. Sorry, Luke. As they get through, but the BMWs have come out on top. The Lexus is flashing his wheels. I'm not sure Diebold felt like he was a little bit hard done in all of that, but they've all come up better than Phil McCulley. Oh, we were going 3 wide into those set of corners. It was never gonna work. I don't know who was at fault, who was innocent. Everyone was. You're guilty of content making.
With a battle between 4 people for the top 5, it was always going to end that way, as was said by Underwood, who says that was only going to end one way. And you're correct. It's one of those things where everyone's battling hard, and it's the last 5 minutes of the race, so everyone's going to want to get those positions as quickly as possible, and it's just one of those times where now everyone's just got to kind of bring it home. I don't know if it's worth any more contact or any more chances of crashing. But yeah, it's set off a few drivers, and a few drivers are in now different positions again. That Lawrence also still holding out in front of Jacobs for the 1st and 2nd, and I believe at the moment we still got who was out. Benefield leading in the hypercars as well with Vinton is still in fourth, who we did see just earlier go past these GT3s that were battling. But it's looking like the battle is spicing up again. Brooker right on the back of Dryberg as they're heading towards the final turns of the track. With 3 minutes to go, the BMW is getting very close, and it looks like Brooker's going to make his move. There's contact again!
Oh no, up into the inside of turn 15. When Brooker and Dryberg goes around, loses at least 2 positions out of all of that. Oh no, I think we're going to see some drive-throughs. We're going to see some drive-through penalties, I imagine, or post-race penalties, or whatever, or some stern talking to, some battles. But the Lexus has come out on top of Diabol's Curtis. He wasn't too happy flashing his lights before, but he's going to be on the... Oh, he goes wide. Never mind. And Brooker goes back through as well. It's side by side. Surely we go around for one more time. The Toyota's coming through as well. Ah, Diabol's, he's just a little bit behind. He has the nose in. I'm hoping the room is given, but he can't stay committed. He can't carry the speed. The Bend BMW is going to carry the speed. But Diabol's and Lex is looking at the inside, but he doesn't have an overlap. And it is going to be Brooker on top for P5 right now. 6 positions gained 9 positions gained for Brooker, 6 for Diabol's Benjamin Curtis. But Benjamin, he's not over. He's right on the back again of the BMW. The Porsche 963 is arriving soon on 2 wide. Where's the Porsche got to go? He's waiting. That's sensible. That's big brain. He saw these 2 were battling. He didn't get involved. Didn't make it any further. But that's very deep from the BMW. Surely Brooker's lost a position dearly. And Diabol's Curtis comes out on top. It's all kickoff, especially in this part of the track. And I think that might spell the end for that whole sequence.
This whole third sector drama has been a bit chaotic as we've gone into this last bit of the race. I don't think they've taken it easy. Lawrence and Jacobs, it's still just hanging out at the front, not much of a change at all. Lawrence getting very close to the wall there. I'm concerned about that, and this will be their final go-around as they cross the line. Oh, is he touching the wall there? I hope that wasn't, I think that was broadcast view, but yep, as they are now going around for a final time, there's a yellow flag out on the track, but I think it's gone, so it might be all good. If 1 minute left of this race, this is, of course, the final lap of the race. Lawrence and Jacobs close again. I wonder if Jacobs is going to go for a move on this final lap. Hopefully not in that third sector, as that seems to be the danger zone.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely looks like it's going to be the last one. Lawrence has a lead over Jacobs, but it is also close. Can't afford to lift off anything, can't afford to cruise homewards. That's right. Oh, big slide there from the Lexus. The V8 Beast goes for a little bit of drifting, and now I believe that's Lucas in the Cadillac coming through as well. Surely it's going to, just make things a little bit easier for the Lamborghini of Harry Lawrence right now. As Lucas looks to negotiate, surely he'll go around the outside. Yep, around this corner. Use the downforce, use the power, clear the car. The GTs can't do that. And didn't hold up Harry Lawrence whatsoever as well. And it looks like Jacobs just fine. Maybe he's had a little bit of struggle on tires towards the end of this race. They are endurance tires. They do last a lot better, but it depends on how you treat them the whole race. And Harry Lawrence looks like he's going to be taking out the GT win so far with just a couple of corners to negotiate. There's another lap, never mind, as we get another yellow flag, that's for sure. And oh dear, I'm hoping things are a-okay.
Also, looking at the thing, I believe this was the last lap, but looking at it, McCulley's dropped down to 15th as well because of that whole situation. Yeah. So I'm guessing McCulley might have stayed out and tried to keep going, so they didn't get a DNF.
He boxed. I saw him. He did box. He had no rear wing. He would have been undrivable, surely. Unfortunately, it's done. Benefield he's finished. He's won the race. Harry Lawrence wins GT class, takes it away from Shane Jacobs, and goes for some pirouettes, some burnouts as well in the Lamborghini. Excellent stuff. So it's going to be Benefield who wins the hypercar class, followed upon Lucas Keys and I believe Luke Johnson there in the Peugeot taking out the podium. And I believe it is going to be Harry Lawrence, Shane Jacobs, and I'm not too sure who came P3. I think they were kind of a bit in their own race for the GT field. I don't want to call it.
And we are getting just last second things. There's been a DT for car 31 for causing a collision, which I believe was that whole GT3 thing that we saw a bit earlier on. Not seeing a car for
Which part of it?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Dylan King.
Oh, there we go. It's Chris Brooker. Chris Brooker has received a DT for the collisions earlier on, so I'm guessing there was more fault there for Brooker, but we do have our final positions actually fully up on the screen. Benefield coming first, Lucas Keys, Johnston, Vincenter, and Bushell rounding out top 5 for the Hypers, and the top 5 for the GT3s was Lawrence Jacobs, Zwali, King, and Diabolds Curtis. So very good race from all of them. That was a very intense battle there for the P5 at the end there as well. Very fun to watch and crazy, but yeah, what a great race today.
Oh dear, Drieberg's had a mare and something's gone right. He's got no wing, he's got no front wheel. Oh dear, I think those yellow flags were a little bit telling as his race has gone from bad to worse. Bring the car home, get your money back from the rental.
Oh gee.
You can still get an MOT on that.
Okay, so it's for, by the way, for clarification on the Brooker incident, it was for contact a lap later than the GT3 pack. So it would have been the contact with Dryberg there in that second last turn.
The BMW on BMW.
Yeah, the BMW on BMW, I'd say, was the incident. But I'm guessing that crash for Dryberg came a bit later, maybe from hot tyres when they spun, so then spun maybe again into a wall that time.
I think everyone was getting a bit red mist as well, and if you have a big accident like that, you just you think the race is over. They gave us absolute cinema, though, I have to say. They gave us cinema that was excellent to dine out on.
Great content and a great way to end the race for round 2 of season 4 for the LMU WEC series, which is obviously a great series that we've got running now with service. So on for a good one, and I believe we do have what do you have a driver of the day for that one?
I want to get. I mean, you have to acknowledge Benefield. He did absolutely decimate the field as well. I'm going to give it to the Peugeot Johnston because I think he came. It was qualified P6, P7, and he made some
underneath the sheet, burning like a flame within, blisters all over my skin, always a step behind, just like I'm going blind. Ever after on the loose, I will never get to choose. I'm a slave to every vice, taking all the bad advice. Dirt sticking all over my shoes. I need to get on the blues. Always a step behind, just like I'm going blind. Ever after on the loose, I will never get to choose. Nowhere else to go, nothing more to show. I never thought it'd come to this. I can hardly stand the heat, soaking underneath the sheets, burning like a flame within, blisters all over my skin, always a step behind, just like I'm going blind. Ever after on the loose, I will never get to choose. Come on. Come on.
Welcome back, everyone, for the third race here at Watkins, Glen. This is the Thermaltake Sprint Series. My name is Blake Griffiths, and I'm joined in the booth by sophomore George Sakanius. George, how are you doing this fine evening?
Yeah, going very well. Excited to be on board and see what I can bring to the team.
For sure. Excited to have you here, mate. We've got a nice healthy grid here in split red. We're just sort of getting to the end of the practice session here, but we do have our Thermaltake prize wheel to come through in a moment. Very, very excited for this one, though. It's been very, very eventful splits thus far, but we're going to get straight into it here. Glen on the cameras as always. Well, on Thursdays as always. Obviously, big shout out to Ben. But Glen, please spin that wheel. Tick, 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 tick. Does that have a sound effect? I can't hear anything.
You got the sound effects.
Yeah. Oh, it is Callum Lloyd. I believe that's Kimaris. Callum Lloyd, congratulations, mate. You are now the proud owner of a Thermaltake wireless mouse. I will be in touch to get that out to you soon. Good stuff. I believe Callum is one of our stewards as well, so nice to see. Promise it's completely unrelated that staff keep winning, but you know.
It might have been the way you go on tick tick tick.
Yeah, I don't know. To be fair though, it's a correlation, not causation, because there is a lot of people that work behind the scenes at Octane to make what we do happen. So it's bound to be some of the stuff at some points.
Absolutely, and everyone is a worthy winner.
For sure, for sure. If you don't know, if you're new here, you enter the draw to win that mouse just simply by racing here at Octane through the week. In any of the races, so in the ACC series or in LMU, you get the chance to win that mouse. And in the broader overall standings for this season and last season, we do have the Thermaltake Cup, which there is some significant prizes to be won, including a wheel and pedal bundle from Thermaltake, and the second and third place, I believe, get a PC case, which is very crisp and airflow-esque and all that good stuff. But yeah, so George, Watkins Glen, how do you like the Glen? Do you like going bowling?
Yeah, I do. Look, actually, it is one track that I do like, and obviously I ran Split Yellow yesterday, and I was very surprised about how much grip the track actually does produce. So it makes us for some interesting racing, and we'll just see how everyone goes tonight in Split Red.
Yeah, I love the Glen. I think it's a really fun track. It's a fun track for lapping. It's a fun track for racing. But I did not have a good time last night. I don't know if my GTR brethren felt the same, but I was struggling a little bit in that car. Still got a pretty decent result. Wasn't too mad. Still went up from my qualifying, but yeah, it was definitely tricky to say the least. So we'll see out here tonight. I know this split is informally both Split Blood and the Porsche Cup split. Not as strong as it used to be per se, but we do have quite a few still repping the Porsche, that rear-engined baddie, if you will. We'll roll over in just a minute. If Dave Stevenson could hurry up a little bit, Dave.
Yeah. Look, it is. Look, the one thing I do like about the track, there is passing opportunities. Not easy, but there is passing opportunities. You just got to be very smooth, and the smoother you are, the faster you are on this track. That's the way it works. Yeah,
definitely. Like it's not crazy easy, but it's not ridiculous. But I think like some of the corners, they're just very, very good fun. It's been a pretty tumultuous week throughout Split Yellow and Green. As we do flick over and you see people already super ready to get out there onto the track. I know last week we had a really great battle between Aiden Squires and Nathan Monks throughout the whole of the race at Paul Card. Aiden not able to participate this week. I know his PC kind of just died, and I'm pretty sure he has a paper due, so you better not be watching this, Aiden. You better be working on your paper. And I believe Pat Johnston took out the win last week, so we'll see if he can repeat that magic. We've got a pretty strong field here. A pretty good pro class as well, but is it a big pro-am field here in Split Red?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting tonight. Like I said, it's whoever gets it on. Strategy is going to play a big part on this. I mean, I noticed yesterday or in a couple of the other splits, some pitted early, some pitted late. It was a real mixed bag. There was just nothing that stood out that gained you an advantage. It's just making the right calls at the right time.
Yeah, definitely. On that note, housekeeping, if you haven't catch the other races, it's a 60-minute race with one mandatory stop for tyres. Obviously, as you sort of said with that stop, it does afford you a little bit of flexibility and no pit window either. If you wanted to pit straight away to get yourself out of the traffic, you can take those tyres and you won't really lose much because the tyre wear for wet tyres is pretty negligible. Will be pretty all right. But you are going to be seating track position in that case. But yeah, so we'll see what people opt for. Obviously, we did see, particularly in Split Green, quite a few people come a cropper, taking dry tyres accidentally, not getting their pit stop set up just quite right. So that was very, very costly for a few. We also saw a few speeding infringements into the pit lane. We'll see if Split Red has learned anything from their predecessors or if we're doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past.
It almost happened to me yesterday with the dry tyres. 3 laps before I decided to come in, I thought I better check my window, see what's going on there, and sure enough, it had dry tyres. I did select the wets, but it had dry, so I was lucky I checked. If not, I would have been one of those unfortunates as well.
It's literally it's so easy to do. I think you just have to check. I'm bad for it as well. But I managed to stay away from too much drama myself. So we'll see what happens with these guys. As I said, nice healthy grid. I believe there's about 35 cars out there tonight. As you look at that track map, it is very well spaced here. Not too much space in the track for yourself to find a gap to put a lap down. But we are on board with Carl Johnson right now. Carl, one of our Kovacs guys, Kovacs black car, following along behind Breno Ellis, also one of the favourites to win this race, I would say, though that Audi is going to be pretty persnickety. I do say it's a difficult car in the dry, and I don't think it's much better in the wet, but he is probably the preeminent Audi driver in Octane, or one of, if not, sorry if there's anyone out there that takes offence to that. So we'll see if he can wrangle that thing around here, around the Glen. For now, I think we're going to start to see some of these banker laps coming through. So you do see that Mustang back there just getting a little bit tail happy.
Yeah, I feel the Mustangs last night were getting a bit tail happy, but it's going to be interesting. I think the Porsches, I think, are going to be very good to start off with as well. So, yeah, Johnson's going to be up there. You're going to have Go in the Ford, and even Monks. It's going to be interesting. So here we go. First lap of a 150.5 for Johnson.
That is bloody good. That is a really good banker lap. I'm pretty sure that's only a couple of tenths off what some of the other splits were doing at the end of their qualifying session. You can see Breno, obviously, I was singing him some praises earlier, about 3.5 tenths off that already. So Pat Johnston not playing around the Boatley at home here in the wet.
Do you think we're going to see a 149 tonight in the split?
It's pretty hard to say. I think we saw Lucas Keys or someone doing 49s in the practice for yellow. And obviously we all know Lucas Keys' resume. And I don't think we saw 49s in green. So if look, gun to my head, no. I'm going to say no. But I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Oh, look, I think they're going to go very close. Tafika obviously has gone into provisional pole at the moment with a 150.425. Let's see what happens moving forward, but I think there's a few other guys there that'll go close, if not go a little bit tighter than that moving forward.
Yeah, it's a lovely time there. Taufik, unlike myself, not struggling in that GTO whatsoever, puts it straight to the top. Rayan as well in that Ford Mustang, only 0.04 of a second behind Taufik, and Johnston also less than a tenth behind there. So the competition is stiff at the top. So maybe I will be eating crow, but we will see as we do jump on board with Aman Rayan. Pretty good race last time out. I think a newer face to Octane. Breno actually though striking back with the 50.24, so we're edging ever so closer. And the track will come to these guys as a dryer line is forged through here with 35 cars are running through.
Yeah, we're with Tafiki's at least another 0.13 up. he's going to get close as well. I do believe I do expect to see a 149 tonight. I really do.
Yeah, I think they're going to make me look a bit silly, I think, in a minute, but this is potentially going to be good enough for Taufik to claim that top spot again. Whoa! What's that? 5/1000s? 5/1000s. Wowee. That is rough going, but we'll see if Taufik can put another one together. He's got a few more laps to do so. As we look back a little bit further here at Rayan, if he can keep this up, this is going to be pole as well. So as I said, the competition extremely stiff as he's navigating these last two corners. Gets it in nicely to the apex there, gets it all the way out to the curb, no trouble navigating that slippery curb either. Throws it through the last one. He's down a little bit here, so we'll see. It's going to be very tight. Again to the top. We'll see if that delta lies or if it does not, and it does not lie. It's a 1 minute 50.23, and Ellis snubbed by only 8,000ths of a second, and Taufik only 1300ths of a second behind Rayan as well. So wow, very tight at the top here.
The way it's looking like tonight, it's going to be whoever sneezes is going to lose TQ. Just staying on it, as long as not bleeding any time coming out of any of the corners. Rayan's up just a little bit. He's got 0.1 up. There he goes. He's going through the S's now. He's gone up to 0.3 through the S's. Got that right now. He's bleeding a little bit of time. Can he maintain that? This could be very close to getting to that 49 that I'm predicting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see he has that time in the bus stop in hand, so there is a little bit to improve. Well, if he is to lose this time, it's ebbing and flowing up and down a little bit. Obviously, Rayan in the driver's seat right now, so he's kind of battling against himself, but obviously wants to put a little bit more between some of these fierce competitors that he does have behind him. Name just shouting out Rayan, quite young, still in secondary school, so it's getting a bit late for you, young man, isn't it?
Yeah, if he's still in secondary school, then it'd definitely be late for him. But mate, he's relishing it in. He's just bleeding a little bit of time going into the last section, 63. No, he's gained it up again, so he's 0.3 up. Can he maintain that, not bleed any time? If he holds this, he's going to be very close to that 149 that I was predicting. So he's gone a bit wide. No, did he get the track limits there? No, I think he should be all right. He's coming out of the last corner now with his 0.3 up, and he's accelerating. Can he get it? And yes, he did. There's the 149.952. Well done.
There we go. Absolutely massive from Rayan, and it puts nearly 3/10 between himself and Breno. Jumping back now down the grid with Johnston. Johnston, our winner from last week, and this is a pretty massive time. It's got 2 more corners to navigate to potentially pip Rayan after that magnificent lap we just saw. Oh, gets a bit of grass though, and that's... Oh, he's not even really lost time though. Oh, just through the exit though. Too much speed to clip the wall. He's gonna have to. He's got time to go around once more, and another. We'll see if he's gonna make this one count or not. But that's a heartbreak. He's so close.
Yeah, just clipping that grass going into the last corner sort of set him a little bit wide, hitting the wall, and yeah, as soon as you do that, you'll bleed time. But look, he's got another lap to reset himself up and get everything right. And yes, he was there. He's going to end up doing it again. We'll just see how close he can get.
Yeah, just getting word in from Ryan Anderson. Shout out to Ryan, telling us that car number 18 has a 2-place grid penalty for overtaking a car on a valid lap. And Kimaris, I'm pretty sure you won the giveaway, mate, if I'm not mistaken, but you should scroll back a little bit. But looking to our action now, there is a yellow flag a bit further ahead on the last corner. They've RTG'd, so no harm, no foul. We did see Taufik pulled it up in the pits briefly, but is back out on track, so maybe super fresh set of boots and get back out there for one more lap. Rayan has called it for now. The gauntlet is thrown. Do you see Johnston is down a little bit? So we're going to jump across over to Stephen Bechtold's in that Romance Porsche. Absolutely lovely livery on this one. About 3/10 up right now.
Yeah, let's see how you do. He's in P16 at the moment. With this time there, he should be able to jump up at least 2 or 3 spots if he can maintain it. He's actually accelerating too, so he's gaining more and more time with 2 corners to go. Can he maintain that? He's coming out. Yes, he's half a second up. He's still maintaining it, which is coming into the last corner. As long as he gets it out, gets a good drive out of here, and you see the track drying up. Is he accelerating a bit more? No, he's maintaining it, half a second. He will jump up a few spots here for sure. There he goes, P6. Well done.
Yeah, massive. And that's put him at the head of the silver field too. It's a really good time. See, he actually just had about 2/10 in the first corner there, but I'm not sure he was fully ready to send it this last time. But yeah, really, really great time there for Stephen Bechtold. Sorry, I believe it's Stefan, actually. My bad.
All good. We all make mistakes, but they're all be on their final laps at the moment now. Whoever crosses the line now will be definitely being on their last laps. If they haven't crossed the line in about 5 seconds, that will be it for them. Beckfeld's trying to maintain. He's going up again. He's almost he's getting close. He's just bleeds a little bit of time there. It looks like Brinkley's done.
Big slide there on the loop for Bechtold, so I'm not sure if this is going to be the one unless he feels like he has a bit more time in hand. As we mentioned before, this is the time to be on the track, though. It is going to be at its driest, so he's going to press on as he throws it around the toe. Jumping a bit further ahead to Johnston here. We did see Johnston. He has a little bit of time in hand, but right now, I think that... Oh, no. It's completely level, so just seriously consistent here from Johnston, but does lose 1/10 there. He's going to throw it around these last 2 corners. I don't think it's going to be here, and that's invalid there. So trying to go put all the beans in the pot, if you will, and it's not paid off there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone else is going to improve. We can see Bechtold. He's not improving as well, so basically, and tag the wall coming onto the straight as well, and that's it. We're all done. So well done to.
Well, hold on, we still got some people coming through. We got Rosser. Oh, that's a big send though. I think he's going to be down a bit of time. Tim Gobe, 17th. He is sandbagging so hard. Can you believe this guy? Pete Chalmers still running around. He's about 1.5 tenths down though too. I don't know if that's going to be it. Oh, we've evened out, but he's a bit too deep there on the last corner. I don't think, we've got a car back there pulling into the pits. I think that might be Choritos, so that is going to be it. You were right, because none of it changed any of the outcome.
No, well done to, if I'm not mistaken, it was Tafik, but who took pole again?
Rayan, I believe.
Yes, Rayan, the Ford. Well done to Rayan. It was a good lap there. Did the 149 as predicted. Well done to them. If you want to call the grid, just help me out with the names a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Glenn, if we could just catch the expanded timing tower in a moment. And there we have it. So it is Iman Rayan from Breno Ellis. Can we go back to the top a little bit? Glenn not giving me what I want. I'm going to throw a tantrum. From Moyen Taufik, from Patrick Johnston, from Carl Johnson, which that never gets confusing. Stefan Bechtold from Ben Hignett. Robert Brickley way up there for the Pro-Ams, putting it in the top 10. Parker and I'm just going to say Siafik. I struggled with the first one. I am very sorry. I'm going to work on that. Rounding out our top 10.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to decide. The issue is always going to be going into turn 3 and up through the S's. If any... That's all right. The S's is going to be interesting. If I'm not mistaken, definitely in split yellow and a split green, there was always a little bit of an incident there. They just got to get through basically turn 2 and the S's at the start. Let's see what happens with that.
Yeah, I was so worried that turn 1 was just going to be an absolute bloodbath. I mean, there's a reason why that gantry says "go bowling" on it, because people go bowling pretty frequently, and it's just difficult. Like even in the dry, the way that corner sort of banks, and it's a relatively sharp turn. I guess at least the run to it isn't super long. But yeah, even up to the S's, and through the S's, particularly in the wet, I think people sometimes you can just understeer, especially on the first lap, pretty badly. And when you've got cars side by side, there's going to be contact, and there's walls pretty close by, so there's a ping-ponging effect, and it can just get much worse. We do our grid walk here now. Any liveries your favorite, George?
I'm just looking at it at the moment. There's obviously the Porsche there. I think it was Kay Johnson. It looks like the Rothmans one, or similar to that.
Yeah, that's Bechtold. They have the Rothmans, or the Romance livery, as it were.
Yeah, I'm not much into doing liveries. I struggle on that side of it, so I tend to use just the standard ACC one. But a few of them there do look pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, you've got it's. I don't know in general, but it's iconic to me, that teal. Are you in the McLaren this season? You're in a different car this season, aren't you?
No, in the McLaren.
Okay. Yeah, that teal McLaren. Oh, no, you used to run the BMW as well at some point. Is that right?
I've run the BMW, the Ferrari. I do chop and change a bit, but I thought I'll stay with the McLaren a little bit longer because obviously I'm doing the Enduro series with it. So I thought I'd just stick with it a little bit longer just to see if I can gain a little bit more pace with it.
Yeah. It's a fantastic car. UT, it's very, very popular throughout the splits. Not so much in this one, actually, interestingly. There's a pretty good spread of cars throughout here. But yeah, as we do have Rayan leading the way, holding 120, single file, please and thank you. I will say, for those of you that haven't raced too much, don't have the experience, or aren't in one of these races this week, the spray from the cars ahead is absolutely horrendous. It is so hard to see, even on just the formation lap, which is it's a big part of obviously wet racing. But yeah, it's something to absolutely be reckoned with.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't make it easy. That's why it really pays to qualify towards the pointing into the field, where I qualified in 23rd in split yellow yesterday. It was very hard to see, and a couple of times I put the brakes on to slow down, and there was about 5 or 6 cars that just overshot me because you just can't see that well.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was one of the people that overshot. I was like, man, if this was real life, I would have just caused the biggest pile up, just straight through a bunch of cars. And like people behind me did the same as well. It's just crazy.
They're double filing up now?
Yeah, they certainly are. As we are going to get underway shortly. Do you have any predictions for the start of this one, George?
Look, like the other 2 splits, everyone got through turn 1. Turn 1 was never the issue. It was always there. I'm going to say no safety car. I reckon these guys are going to be all right, and I do believe that Iran's going to get out in front and start pulling away a bit, but it's going to be interesting to see how the Ford maintains the tyres. It does get a little bit skaty towards the end for the Ford. I did see a couple of them struggling over the last couple of splits from yesterday, so it'll be interesting. I think the Bentley's going to be doing all right. From Johnston, we'll see what happens at the start.
Yeah, fair. I reckon, I don't want there to be, but I reckon there's going to be a safety car. We'll see.
You're a harsh man. You're a harsh man.
Oh yeah, I'm a bit harsh, but we'll see. As they are now onto the pit straight, Rayan is going to lead us away. Race start will be initialized in a moment. Johnston with a bit of a gap there to Ellis. Ellis trying to maximize his start. As we do go green, it's a really, really poor start from Rayan. Taufik just slots straight in the middle there. Johnson also having a look, but he has to pull up. They touch, and they're around, and there's more carnage. I feel like that's already going to be a safety car. And there's further contact. There's even the last 2 cars just sadly tap each other. But Breno Ellis has inherited the lead with Taufik in second, and there is that safety car.
Right. I Muslim saying that the turn 1's going to be clear, and you've Muslim because you're going to call the safety car. Well done.
Yeah, I think Rayan getting that poor start, I think, just set off a bit of a cascade of events there where cars were probably closer than you would have expected. So yeah, just difficult to navigate there. And then obviously there was a fully separate incident that happened probably 3/4 of the way down the grid. So yeah, we'll obviously get a look at that again. But stewards are busy already.
Yeah, I wonder if Rayan was just a little bit over the speed and he tried to slow down so he wouldn't get binged for speeding on the grid, and that's why he slowed down a little bit, because he definitely slowed down a little bit early. And then obviously by the time he hit the accelerator, everyone had to jump on the green light and was able to overtake him, which made it very difficult. So generally with the safety cars over the last couple of days, they've basically held it just for this one lap, and they normally give it straight back to the leader and say, go. We'll see if it's the same thing. I think they've all caught up to a certain degree.
Yeah, we've just got a straggler or two at the back. I do see... very unfortunately, Tim Gobe, I believe, is right at the back there, the second to last car, if he's still running the 72. So his sandbagging campaign continues, to say the least. But I mean, he probably had an incident. But as we do get that replay, yep. So we do see Johnston there. Johnston gets a bit of grass, but Johnson tags Rayan, sends him into the car on the left to look a bit further back. Oh, the gap just closes and absolutely sandwiches that Ferrari. I mean, it looks like there's about 4 different incidents. So yeah, there's
and up through the S's as well. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, someone was saying I apologize. It's either Bab or Babby. I always get confused in the chat, in the YouTube chat. There was a crash under the safety car, and I wonder if that last one was that. But we are green again. Brenner Ellis has gotten us underway, as is his right to do, with a really, really fast lap of a 2:42. So we'll see what the stewards are going to do about that one, because yeah, I do think some of that stuff happened after the safety car was called. Obviously, there's a bit of a delay between when we get that safety car message and when the race director calls it. So there could be some pretty big punishments handed out, because we do see quite a few people into the pits. Like, that's quite a lot for lap 1. So I'm sure some of that is damaged. We did see quite a few cars off. As we already are seeing Ben Kodos coming in the chat with that good intel. That's a stop and go 30 for car 333 for contact under safety car. So yeah, there we go. There's the first big whack.
Oh, I got a feeling that maybe Johnson might cop a bit of a whack, because I'm fairly sure he was the one who just tagged the back of Rayan as well. But maybe a few of these people also come into the pits. Yeah, it will be damage, and there was a couple that basically put it on the first lap to get away from all the spray and to have a clear track in front of them to try and do the fastest times, and a few of them will catch back up.
Yeah, it's that's tricky. So I just had a look. Car 333 is Dan Madden, so one of our Pidgey boys, brother to Matt Madden, a regular in the booth. Dan obviously hops in the booth here and there, but it's been his first race was pretty good actually, but yeah, it's a pretty shocking start, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Ellis looks like he's gotten a bit of a nice little drive onto the front straight there, just making a bit of a break. The spray is also going to help to feet. But as I noticed yesterday with the spray actually does reduce as the race goes on. It gets a bit more of a drier line. The track does stay wet, but it gets a nice dry line on there, and you can actually start catching up, and the spray doesn't affect you too much once you get to about 30 minutes in.
Yeah. Well, there's less water on the track to be cleared. You would assume, at least in real life, that less water is being thrown up by the tyres, but obviously it's not quite real. So I do just want to bring attention to we're looking at Tim Gobe, who's just ahead of the pack, and Tim obviously quite fast, well deserved to that pro placement, if I do say so myself. But he's in this predicament now where I think he's probably pitted for the sake of damage, but the problem with pitting like too early, and Tim didn't really have this decision, I don't think, but I'm going to make a point of it, is that he's going to be blue flagging through a lot of the fields. Now, Tim being very fast, he's probably going to be faster than a good, 4/5 of the field, but he might have to give that position anyway, so that's going to really hurt his race. So it's an unfortunate one for Tim.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's definitely going to hurt him there. If he was a little bit further up and he wasn't in there and get into a bit of a race pace, then he might have been able to capitalise towards the end once people started pitting. But obviously, as these guys are going to get a little bit closer to him, he's going to start copping those blue flags. And unfortunately, with the blue flags, you have to give way unless if you can put the hammer down and pull away.
Yeah, definitely. And as I said, Tim is very, very quick, but Breno, I think, is probably a tier above Tim, and I don't think, well, knowing Tim doesn't even think he wants to be in pro, so I'm sure he would agree. But for now, we look back to the front. Ben Hignett actually setting the fastest lap, taking that away from Breno Ellis. It's a 51.2. Hignett actually a bit of a winner there. He started about in P7, where we see Rayan right now. Bignett rocking that Ferrari, very lovely car to drive in the wet, I've heard. But Rayan very, very close to the back of Bactolds right now, with a bit of a gap back to Rockford, our leading Pro-Am car right now, with Brickley just behind him.
Yeah, that Porsche, especially going to the S's, it was difficult for me to overtake yesterday. Even with the Ford, obviously, it's got the bit of the bop there with the restrictor in it. Obviously, it doesn't have that straight line speed that it used to have. And that Porsche, especially after the update, or this newer Porsche, I should say, it's actually got some good acceleration out of the corner, and it's got some good top speed. So it's going to be a little bit difficult, and at the same time, it does have good steering, so it's going to be interesting to see how quick Ryan can get past him and see if he can try to catch up to the guys at the front.
Yeah, definitely. And all I've heard is that the Porsche is absolutely wonderful in the wet. So, and I guess the proof is vaguely in the pudding. We did see with Split Green, 2 Porsches on top. Big shout out to Damiano for his second win. Oh, Tim Gobe. Don't know if Tim's used to blue flagging as much anymore, because that was a bit tricky there. To say the least, but I did also just want to point out, I think our safety car bot, or our penalty bot, is having a bit of trouble right now, but we do see Carl Johnson actually clocking 15 seconds, I presume for tapping the back of Rayan, as we saw at race start. So I'll keep an eye out for that. And
big slide there from the Porsche coming out of the last corner.
Yeah, I think
this is giving the opportunity for Rayan to get in front.
Yeah, definitely. So he gets that done before the turn-in even. I think Bactold probably wasn't fighting that one crazy hard, Rayan, obviously with some really, really good pace. So you see Tim just having to give way to so many of these cars. I think he might just be trying to get it all over and done with straight away. But I guess the time lost is the time lost, so...
look, if he did sandbag at the start, sometimes it does pay. I know there was a few other guys in the other splits who were doing the same thing. I know Lucas definitely did it. He started at the back of the grid there to get through, and he did get into the top 10 at the end. But unfortunately, sometimes when you get, as you said, to the bowling alley here, if you get caught up, you get caught up, and it really hurts you.
Yeah, as we do see as well, Diabol's just... Oh, Diabols, sorry. Diabols, which is Ben Curtis, if you're not familiar, saying number 73 getting a drive through for contact lap 1, turn 1 as well. So they're still working through those ones at the moment. But for now, it is Ellis still in front with a healthy lead over Taufik. Johnson, relatively close behind, but carrying a 15-second invoice. But Hignett actually very, very close to the back of Johnson, with Parker actually rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, there's a couple of other battles going on down the back there. We just moved on to Tafik now. He's trying to maintain it. He's actually doing a pretty good job with the Nissan, but obviously the Porsche is always going to have probably a little bit of an upper hand there with the way it handles.
So we're just going to get a replay in here now. So we're looking at Gobe.
There's a big tag at the back there that started the Skittles.
Jeez, there was a lot to look at there. So a bit further up the track, as I think we're getting into the bus stop here, just following along again with Tim Gobe. So this is under safety car. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. So that's our stop and go 30 for safety, collision under safety car. That's not great. That's not great. I think we're going to have to go back to the drawing board a little bit there, Dan. I think JC is going to have a word with you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's not going to be looked well with the stewards there. They weren't going to be too happy with that, in which they weren't. So, yeah, unfortunately, when you're slowing down, especially on the safety car, I always pull off the racing line, away from any cars, so I can see what's going on. Because with spray, it makes it very, very difficult. It's hard enough in the dry little lane in the wet.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm just not. I think maybe there was a bit of a loss of focus or something there. Maybe someone came in and said, "Hey Dan, do you want a wine? You want a hot drink or something?" And he's like, "Oh yeah," and didn't realize he was flooring it into the back of poor Tim. So yeah, that was not ideal.
No, it's not. Look, a few of the cars here seem to be a little bit spread out here at the moment. We haven't got too many battles. We've got Brickley's 0.3 off Rockford. If we can go down to there and just have a look to see if we can get anything there, see if we can get any battles going on.
Oh, I think there's a little bit happening here, but yeah, these guys are very, very close. 3 cars in very close vicinity, but this is for the honours of Pro-Am and fighting well up the leaderboard here. Whoa, very deep there for Brickley in the GTR, as he does have a pro driver and Graham Hill chasing him down. Graham's going to pull out. I think he's going to try and make this a side-by-side affair into the bus stop. Brickley pretty wisely just letting him go through there. It's not exactly the friendliest place to be door-to-door, and probably a wise move to just prolong his race effort there for Brickley.
Yeah, I'm wondering, all those guys that are in the Pro-Am, are they all Pro-Am? Because I did notice, especially with there goes the Nissan nice and wide. Did he just disconnect or just run wide? No, he's just made a bit of a mistake, I think.
That is not going to prolong his racing effort. That is a bit rough, and he's going to have to wait for a lot of these cars to go by, because that is not the easiest corner to see. There's a crest right there. What is Nathan Monks doing down there in P19? That is odd to me.
I think he's just trying to have a little bit of fun. Trying to get through. Here he goes. Brickley's finally turned around, and maybe it's the curse of the Nissan in this one in the wet that you were saying when you were driving it.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, and I think some of these guys at the top make it look very, very easy, but it is a tricky car, to say the least. So as you do jump on board, well, briefly, we're going to jump back up the grid, back to Rockford, who's now having to fend off this advance from Graham Hill. Graham dispatching Brickley relatively efficiently through the bus stop, or just before the bus stop there. So he's going to start working the body with Rockford here. Rockford, a pretty seasoned Porsche driver, though obviously Porsche very, very lovely in the wet, as we said, with the Aston also incredibly good. So we'll see how these guys duke it out.
Yeah, oh, there's another mistake by the BMW of Chiritos, yes, through the S's losing it. That's not going to help his cause at all, and he's going to have a fair bit of damage on that, because I think I saw Bishop hit that wall yesterday and he copped like 15 seconds worth of damage. It didn't exactly help him either.
I'm getting called out for giving an immediate commentator's curse to Brickley, and yeah, I'll cop that one. That was pretty quick. Straight after the comment. But yeah, we do see Matt Powell just elaborating here. He is correct. That is the biggest penalty they can give without fully disqualifying. I'm not. It's a bit difficult. Like, obviously it was a bad incident, but it's not like we've seen that from Dan on the reg. And as you said, it is a bit of a learning opportunity. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I wouldn't have blamed them if they DQ'd for the race, but yeah, I think it's just a mistake, as I said, maybe a lapse in concentration or something. So hopefully Dan can learn from that one. But for now, we're looking at the racing on track. Roy Anken fending off Michael Rosser with Dave Stevo in the back of this queue, with Callum Rosser also in the queue here. So you got it's a bit of a Macca on Macca action, if you will.
Yes, it's like I said, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, as the track starts to dry out, some of these cars will come to the fray and they'll get quicker and quicker and quicker. And I did notice yesterday that the race pace was pretty fast and everyone was maintaining a pretty good race pace. Now it's depending on whoever gets a good drive out of turn one and then gets the slingshot up through the S's to go into the bus stop. So this is going to be very close, and we'll see what happens. He's actually closing as we're getting closer to it. So can Rosser get in there? He's looking on the inside, and Akin, he's trying to defend. Is he going to send it? No, he decided not to, which is a very, very smart move, because I think sending it in there at that side of corner wouldn't have ended up well at all.
Yeah, you see Roy just covering off the inside there. Rosser wanted to take the very, very inside line, but wisely thought better of it. Ankin lives to survive another day, but there was definitely going to be something on there if the defense wasn't had. We did just see as well a 10-second penalty for Bechtold for a lap 1 turn 1 collision, so they're still working through that. But yeah, it's been a busy start to the race so far.
Yeah, they're going to have their work cut out tonight. But look, it should all start settling down now, and I don't think yesterday was too many track limits. I think with the rain, not many people got track limits at all yesterday. I know I ran wide a couple of times and I didn't get any warnings at all. So the slower speed obviously helps you with that one. So most of it's going to be done obviously at the start, and definitely coming into the pits, whoever tries to speed in the pits, I think that's definitely going to be a track warning. I think this commentator's guess right there.
I was just saying, George, that might be your first commentator's curse, mate.
Oh, I love it.
It's so quick. But yeah, I have noticed at this track at times there is, like, you would think you're going to get a track cut, particularly into turn 1 when you run pretty wide there, but at times it just won't give it to you. But enough of that. We do see Rosser is pretty close, not quite as close to the back as Ankin this time. So I'm not sure that Ankin is going to need to defend this one. Yeah, it's about a car and a half there, so Ankin looking safe from this move for now. Ross is going to have to keep working if he wants to set up this move.
Yeah, look, it's a patient game. I had to work patiently yesterday as well, and most of these guys will have to be very patient. It's not like because obviously the grip, you can see the grip starting to come up on the drier line there, and that's basically the line that you need to get the slingshot. And then, yes, you've got to send it, but you've got to be close enough. You've got to be committed to overtake. There was a few of the guys overtake what they call the toe, which is coming into the corner now. You can overtake in here because there is 2 lines through there. You start off on a wide apex, or you can go to the early apex. And then, depending on which apex you can get a very good slingshot out of there. And to get the drive down the bottom here, I got overtaken yesterday from here as well. So it's a patient game. Everyone has to be patient. The opportunities will rise. Someone's going to make a mistake, and you just got to be close enough to capitalise on it.
Yeah, for sure. I think just putting the pressure on as well, particularly in a wet race, as we sort of see Pete Viney doing that to Matt Madden right now. They're going to be door to door as they go to the second to last corner. Matt all the way out there on that very, very wet line, and he's lost out there. He is going to still be able to fend off Nathan Monks right now, but Monks is probably going to have a better run through the pit straight. So we'll see Monks pulling out alongside Matt, and he's just pulled it back in, and there you see that's that experienced racer, a little bit more patient, and that might actually pay off because we do see Viney and Matt getting very, very wide out there. Monks just slots in nicely, so didn't even have to actually put the move on Matt, but just got him in his head a little bit here. Monks also now under the wing of Viney is lining up this move. He pulls out, and they are going to be side by side, and we'll see if Monks is going to commit to this. They do commit to side by side through the bus stop. Crazy stuff, but Pete on the better line there comes better off, and Nathan dropping quite a few quite a few cars back, maintains the spot, mind you. So Monks is going to have to line that up again.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, he done a very good job of holding that. There's another penalty coming through for 420. He maintained that pretty well, because considering if you go out the wide, it's a very easy corner just to keep on going wide and get yourself onto the grass, which becomes very bumpy. So he did hold that. He almost lost it, obviously, to Madden, but was able to maintain it. Now he's just got to reload, give himself a couple of laps to get back into the groove again and see if he can reload and get past Viney.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly hard. It's hard to go side by side into the bus stop, let alone actually get the pass done. So if I was Monks, I'd be trying to line that up somewhere else. Or, like, I guess the game is like trying to play chicken and get the other person to pull out. But Pete obviously showing his nerve there, not backing out of that one. So he's going to make Monks work pretty hard. Yeah, just a slight elaboration. Sam O'Brien, 15 seconds for a collision into the bus stop. We also do see Samwise Holmes with 15 seconds, a 15-second penalty as well. So still working through these penalties here.
Oh, Viney just had a bit of a slide there. The might have given the opportunity to Monks, and yes, it has. He's gotten a better drive coming out of turn one. Now he's accelerating up to the bus stop, and he's got that done, and see if he's got the pace just to pull away, which I think he does.
Yeah, great stuff there. So Monks just keeping up that pressure on a little bit of a mistake there for Viney. Matt fakes the inside, but obviously a bit further back there, and I don't think Pete's going to bite on anything like that thus far. But we're going to jump back up a little bit here to one of Pete's teammates. We're not? Okay, we're not going to jump to one of Pete's teammates. We're actually going to jump to Rayan. Rayan getting closer and closer to the back of Parker, the other Bentley for this split. A little bit of a Bentley field. There's at least one in every split, would you believe, George?
Yeah, I did notice that. I was actually toying with the idea of actually driving the Bentley for the season, and you know what, I might actually do it next season. I might just bite the bullet. I just got to get used to driving on the opposite side of the road, even though we drive on that side of the road every day of the week here.
Yeah, it's a bizarre sensation, as you said, and I've noted it as well. It is our side of the road. It's the seat, like where we would be sitting, but it feels really, really wrong. And like these tracks that you put so much hours into, it just, even though it's like a meter to the right, it just feels really bizarre.
Yeah, the lines that you take are different. I banged on a few ripple strips more than what I should have on the opposite side. So let's see how we go. Rayan's going to be trying to catch up to Parker. And again, it's all going to come down to being patient. Unfortunately, you have to be patient on this track, especially in these conditions. You just can't just overtake easy. Ooh, there's a bit of a slide there from the Ferrari, but doing well to maintain it. It's all about patience. They're all tightening up here, so whoever makes the mistake is going to lose one or two spots. All very wide for the Ferrari. Almost lost it on the grass as well. Side. He's pushing very, very hard. I think it's high net. You might have had to help me on that one.
That's Hignet. Ben, our other broadcaster on Wednesday night, back in the seat this season. But yeah, this battle, this is heating up here, even though it's coming down here at the Glen. We do have a P3, 4, 5, and 6 all on a tow rope right now. So we'll see who blinks first on track. Ben obviously very committed right now. We've seen some wide and hairy movements. Might have to rein that in just a little bit, get it a little bit cleaner if he wants to get past, because I do think as well, Parker looking pretty racy right now behind him. He's going to have to start looking behind as well as ahead.
Yeah, and obviously we're getting closer and closer now to the pit stops, because some people yesterday were doing it a 50-50 split. Others obviously went maybe 70-30, but the pit stop's going to make it to see who pulls the trigger first, to see if they can try to get either an undercut or an overcut happening.
I'm going to call that Kamaris in chat. You can't say ban Bentley L car when you drive the Audi. That's a ridiculous take. Even though there's an Audi winning, you can't be making that take, mate.
Yeah, all right, here we go. The Bentley eyes looking, he's just showing it to see if he can put a little bit of pressure on the Ferrari. Sorry about that, a little slow. Parker there was going back and forth to see if he can get Hignett to make a mistake, and I do want to apologise to Hignett for not getting his name right. I will get these names right, gentlemen, so I do apologise if I make the odd mistake. Oh, well, there goes the Bentley. He just went wide. Parker, did he save it or did he hit the wall?
Nah, he hit the wall. Oh, he's still going. God, he was so sideways. He exited right of field, or left on the camera, stage right, if you will. So he's lost out big time there at the back of this queue. Just pushing really hard. There's a bit of a fake into the bus stop, but yeah, all the way at the back of the queue now has to restart this effort.
Yeah, as I said to you, it all comes down to who's going to make a mistake. I think he did a little bit of Colin McClary rally there. He might enjoy doing a bit of that rallying. But it all comes down to who's going to make the mistake, who's going to pull that trigger, who's going to be able to maintain it to the end there. But it's obviously spread out a little bit now, and we've got Ryan trying to close the gap on these guys now. He's able to get past it, but it looks like there's a bit of damage still on Ryan's from the start, wasn't there? So he might be struggling with a bit of aero on the front of that car as well.
Yeah, definitely. You can see it's a bit worse for wear on that front left-hand panel. So yeah, probably carrying a little bit of damage, and it looks like the left side too. So we'll see if he can hold off this advance from Parker for the time being. Parker obviously having looked very quick thus far. These guys have fallen off the back of Hignett and Johnson though for the moment.
Yeah, this 15-second penalty on Johnson's going to hurt him a fair bit, because they are pretty tight there, so he's going to drop down a few spots with that 15-second penalty. So hopefully he might have a lot of fuel, and he might be trying to go to the end to try to get as much gap as he can to try to nullify a bit of that 15 seconds. So we've gone down to P. Johnston now. Parkin, he's trying to... He has taken his spot. Yes, he has too. So now he's got to try to get through, and now he's trying to chase there Rosa. He's trying to catch up to Rosa and see if he can try to make some moves and maybe get himself back up to the top again.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to keep an eye out on Johnston, because obviously he was one of our further runners and obviously has pitted a fair bit earlier. But it is mildly interesting to note that there is other pitted cars ahead of him for the time being. I don't really know why Rosser just dropped behind without seeing a car pass, but Chalmers still ahead. You can see Chalmers in that green Porsche a little bit further ahead. So yeah, he's one to keep an eye on for the in terms of comparison to the guys at the top when they take their pit stop, where they are in relation to him. We do see quite a few of our runners having pitted now. The Pidgey boys, Dave Stevenson, Matt Madden opting to pit, Dan Madden in the pits now. You see a variety of cars here, Parkin, Holmes, Ciafik. We also obviously saw Tim Go pit much earlier. Xavier Eaton as well, one of our other Audi runners, already pitted too. So we'll see. We are really getting to that time of the race. It's about halfway through. If you're still here with us, thank you very much. Big thank you to our sponsor Thermaltake as well for aiding us in doing what we do here at Octane Online Racing. Yeah, we're gonna look a little bit further up. I'd like to look at one of the Kovacs Porsches, please. Glenn, I'd like to look at Pete Viney, please. And here we are. I said we'd jump on board with this car a little bit earlier. Glenn said no, but we're back here with Pete Viney.
Oh, there's a mistake.
Oh! Look at that, perfect timing. So I think that was Rotatori actually just getting all kinds of twisty and squirrely through the bus stop there. Actually doing a very good job to sort of keep it together, as we do see. I think that's Tim Gobe just behind, not quite in this fight. But yeah, just getting a big slide there through the loop. So these guys just having a little bit of trouble. So do you actually see another penalty coming through for Brickley? There's 5 seconds on the board. We'll see if any more is added to that. We also see car 25 has a 15-second penalty that I had not seen earlier. So penalties still being given out here through this race.
Yeah, look, they could have been still from the start because there was a fair bit that happened at the start, and it would have taken them a fair bit of time to go through everything to try to nut it all out slowly but surely. But yeah, Go, that was a pretty good save because he definitely had that nice and sideways, and Redatori, yeah, definitely going through that bus stop. It was good save there as well because it definitely gets bumpy through there, and especially in the wet, you can lose it and end up in the fence pretty badly as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just that elaboration there from Ben Curtis. 5 seconds for contact for Brickley, turn 1, lap 15. Yeah, those curbs at the bus stop are actually, they're pretty diabolical. I know the Ferrari's not the greatest on the curbs, but especially going over putting a wheel over the curb and coming back through the inside can really upset the car. So he's done well to hold on to that. Graham Hill in the pits, Brickley in the pits as well, going to be serving that penalty. We do see there's another Ferrari a bit further ahead. Yeah, that's Dan Madden. I want to say he's been in the pits for a little while, but we will see where he comes out. Graham Hill up and rolling again in his purple Mosaic Motorsports Aston Martin. Where has he found himself? As we do see, 78 is coming up to him now. So he's going to be just ahead of Pete Chalmers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Pete Chalmers, is he going to be up there? He's in 7. We've gone down to Chalmers there. So, yes, there's Chalmers now. So he's just behind him and he's going to try to catch up to him. But Chalmers already pitted. Look, they're all pitted there. Most of them are all pitted now. So obviously the front runners are going to be going super long. So they'll probably pit with about 10 minutes to go, most of those top runners. But there's a few more there still with O'Brien and just moved it on me. Bakersfield's got all penalties. So there's a few other penalties are going to be served. So the top 10 can still be mixed up a fair bit, or definitely the top 15 is going to be a few changes there still.
Yeah, well, if you're Breno Ellis, you don't really have any rush to get in the pits because you're in control of the race, and unless something's gone wrong, we do actually see, wow, yeah, Rayan very close to Hignett, but yeah, unless something's going wrong, you're in the driver's seat for the race. I think Rayan's going to try and make a move here. He's forcing a side-by-side issue. Ben Hignett a long way around, but excellent grip in that Ferrari. They're still going to be door-to-door. It depends if Rayan can shut the door on Hignett before they get into the toe. They are still side-by-side. Hignett with the nice inside line there and slots himself back in front, shuts the door on Rayan, says, you're going to have to try harder than that, mate.
Yeah, I think it was just at the top there. It was when he came out of, obviously, the bus stop there. He went a little bit wider on the grass, lost a bit of time, and it allowed Rayan just to have a little bit of sniff going in there. But obviously, yes, that Ferrari's got some good speed as well and had good traction, which is on the dry line. Rayan unfortunately had to try to do it on the wetter line, which you can't get as much grip. So he'll just have to just keep putting the pressure on him and see if he can get him to make another mistake. It's, like I said, it's the only way he's going to get past him at the moment.
Yeah, Hignett did really well to hold on to that one, keep fighting and maintain that position. But yeah, Rayan definitely has some pace here. He's really putting the pressure on Hignett. Doesn't quite look out for a T1 move, but it's going to keep up for the moment. Number 9 is speeding in pit lane. Penalty, and also didn't change his tires, so that's a bit of a no-no in a mandatory tire swap race. But looking at what's on screen, ran really close. That Mustang power really coming through here. He's going to pull to the side. They are going to be door to door as they go to the bus stop, but Hignett does probably have the preferred line. Rayan tries to switch back to the outside and then to the inside. Oh my god, which way is Ben Hignett even looking at this point? But he does manage to come through the bus stop ahead this time, but I think it's Hignett's days might be numbered here with the speed that Rayan seems to have.
Yeah, all he needs to do is keep an eye on the front, hit those apexes. Oh, there's a bit of a slide there for Rayan as well, but was able to gather it up. Now it's going to take him at least another half a lap or something just to compose himself at this stage as well, depending if the tyres may be dry. I do believe that with this little bit of dry line, it does affect the tyres slightly, but not that much. Getting it on, you've got to just stay on that dry line, unfortunately, and that's where you got most of it. Oh, here we go. We've gone down there to...
So I think that's
yeah.
Parkin and Holmes, I believe this is. We're just on board with now.
It's a 3-hour time difference, I think, it's hurting you.
Yeah, so Glen just lamenting, I think we just missed that pass, unfortunately, as he's trying to tee it up for the camera swap. So do you see Rayan actually opting to come into the pits, which I think is pretty wise. If you're really struggling to get around someone, there's no use, and you do feel like you had that overspeed, there's no use just being stuck behind them. So he's going to carry on here with Rayan, the first of our real top runners, I guess maybe apart from Johnston, to pull the trigger on the pits here with 24 minutes to go at the time.
Yeah, it was obviously an interesting round. I had a look at him. I thought he was going to go into the front straight, and then obviously didn't stay with inside that white line. I wonder if the stewards will have a look at that as well.
Yeah, that was a little bit naughty, actually, though I would be lying if I said I didn't do the same thing myself last night.
Oh, did ya?
Yeah, a little bit. I was a bit annoyed. I was a bit held up myself, so I kind of just... It probably wasn't as bad as that. That was pretty late for Rayan. But I think, luckily for myself and for Rayan, they didn't cause any incidents by doing so. So I don't know if it'll get looked at, but yeah, naughty. If you're not familiar, you do need to enter through that yellow line there. You need to be on it the whole time, like inside of it. You can't just fling yourself into the pits willy-nilly.
Look, I don't think he flinned it willy-nilly. Look, if there's no one around you, I can't see it being too much of an issue. I don't think it's going to really gain you too much time there. And look, it is wet and makes it hard to control the car too to get in there. You've got to slow right down for that corner to be able to stay in there. So, look, he might have just got caught out. I don't think there's anything to be had on that one. I wouldn't be worried about too much of that. Here we go. We've got a bit of a move here. Can we get the... We're watching Beef Hop.
Back to the neighbor. Neighbor not having pitted yet, so there's not that much at stake here, but he might be wanting to help out his teammate further ahead, but actually just kind of lets that one go through. I think he's going to let Johnston get through here too. As I said, without having pitted, this is really not his fight. It's not the people that he's quite fighting, so... just another race control thing. 15-second penalty. Sorry, for car number 18, turn 2, lap 19. Yes, I'm going to presume that's a typing error. Not season 2. Sector 2? Question mark? I don't know. It's okay. I do see up ahead, though, Monks and Taufik pulling the trigger as well. So those guys, after Rayan decided to pit about 1 lap later, Breno Ellis, our race leader, also in the pits too. He's actually underway, so I think we just didn't quite see that because of the placement of the timing tower. So Brenner Ellis looking good, no penalty for him, on his way, charging towards victory perhaps, question mark, touch wood.
Yeah, he had a good stop there. He's in and out. He's got no one around him. He's basically got a clear track, so he'll get back into that race pace, and he'll get that lead back straight away once the rest of them all pit. It's just going to be interesting to see how far Johnson will slide down the grid with the 15-second bend there on him.
Yeah, I think Johnson, not one I'm watching for this top fight too much anymore. I think with the pace that these guys at the front have, it's going to be pretty hard to surmount that. I will say, in terms of looking, I brought it up, and perhaps foolishly, Johnston in the Bentley a bit further down is not really actually challenging the front at all, and I think that's actually due to, I kind of forgot, but he did get caught up a fair bit in that lap 1, turn 1 chaos. So yeah, not quite really in the thick of it for the win here, but I will say Monks now after that pit stop is behind Johnston here, so that's going to be one to watch. But these two are actually battling for position now. It is heating up a little bit. We do see car 404. That's Xavier Eaton.
Yeah.
Just a bit beached on the inside here now. He's going to have to... he could get going if he's not too slouch about it, but he does have Breno coming up behind him pretty quick, so he's going to need to be careful.
I think someone's having a go at you about talking about the Audi badly before.
Yeah, well, I mean, case in point, I'm pretty sure we saw a bunch of Audis having a really shocker of it in the last couple of races too. It's just a very difficult car.
Yeah, it is. It's very difficult. But, if it wasn't difficult, I'd definitely like the Audi when I first got into ACC. That probably was my first car to drive, and I did like it. Now, obviously, I've been racing ACC for the last 2 or 3 years, and I really did enjoy it. But then, obviously, when the couple of patches came out, they sort of hurt it a little bit, and it needs to be driven by a very skilled driver, and unfortunately, I'm not that skilled.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like Ben Hignet's got a bit of damage front and back, and I don't really remember him having that. No? Question? What do you remember that, George?
I think he got tagged right at the start a little bit. That hurt him a little bit. He got a couple of taps, but the damage that he's got there, I don't believe it's, even though it's shown there, I don't think it's too significant. I know you can drive the cars pretty quick still, with up to around about 9 to 10 seconds. Anything over 10 seconds will hurt you, but anything below that, I've done it many a times where I can still match my times, and it's depending on what damage you've got.
Yeah, definitely. It looks new to me. But another penalty coming through, 15 seconds for car 833. I'm not quite sure. Let me just check who that is. That's Brad Gosling, actually, in one of the Aston Martins, so we didn't quite see that one. But for now, Ben Hignet provisionally in the lead of this race. Obviously, don't think that's going to continue, but he can enjoy running right at the front for the time being. In the meantime, Rayan setting fastest laps. We knew that Rayan had that pace. He did start on P1, but confirming and consolidating that position right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to hurt him a little bit there. But yeah, he's definitely got the pace, and we knew he's going to have the pace to start. It's just that start hurt him right. That was it. And then obviously Ellis got the jump, and yeah, he's going to be very hard to beat. He needs to make a mistake, and I don't believe he's going to make a mistake. He's had full control of the whole race, and he's just doing it easy. He's just enjoying the Watkins in the wet tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think just shout out to Damiano. That's a good piece of insight. We'll see what this lap is like after this replay, but he was pointing out that lap was 1.5 seconds down. Did you see Nathan Monks tapping a bit of the grass there and just big slide rear quarter into the wall? So that's going to be a bit of damage there. He's not lost too much time, but he might be hemorrhaging it slowly for the last 20 minutes of this race.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard hit. I'll be tipping that's going to be a bit of damage there. It's going to make the car handle a little bit worse for wear now. Here we go. See Alice, look, just obviously keeping it on the dry stuff there and just doing it easy. He hasn't, I don't think I've seen him make, every time we've gone in, he hasn't made not one mistake tonight. He's just been clinical. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's just, it's always a good race, particularly at the front when we're not showing you at all. He's just been in control of this one the whole time. He's got 8 seconds back to Taufik now as well, so just see considerably in the driver's seat right now. You just see Taufik just turning onto the pit straight as Breno is exiting. So I believe we've got 833 got an extra 15 seconds for a poor rejoin as well, so bad to worse for Gosling.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Trying to get back. Sorry about the loss of the words there. Getting back onto the track there, you try to get on, and it's very, very easy to cop that. I've copped that once before as well. Trying to get back on, thinking I've done the right thing, and yeah, just made a meal of it. Didn't take anyone out, but it was very dangerous, and he will learn from that. And unfortunately, it's just the mistakes that cause you to get those bad re-entries again.
Yeah, for sure. I think being sympathetic, you're always a bit frustrated when you make a bit of a mistake. And obviously, there's been contact. You want to get back on the track as quick as you can, end up getting yourself a penalty for the rejoin as well. And it goes from manageable to disaster in the blink of an eye. But
I think I just seen Monks get past Rosa, so he did catch up again and just got past him then. So that mistake obviously hurt him a little bit, but obviously the car's still going all right, and he's pressing forward, onwards and upward.
Yeah, good to see for Monks. It's probably not been quite the race that he's wanted, but still hopefully just cash in a few points here for the championship. Obviously, bit of there's a drop around if you're not familiar. So, you want to obviously scoring as much points as you can, but it's not the end of the world if you do have a bit of a stinker here and there.
I think I just gave Alice a bit of the commentator's curse. I think he just clipped the wall coming onto the front straight.
Oh, yeah, this is fine. ACC physics, you do a little bit of bounce, and that's it.
Fastest lap to Rayan, a 150.202. Very, very quick race pace.
Yeah, that's massive. He's catching Taufik pretty considerably as well. I did just want to point out we don't have to swap back, Glen, but as Damiano pointed out, Hignet's running about that last lap was about 1.7 seconds off his best. So I'm not sure. We didn't quite see if anything happened to him, but I'm not sure if that damage is hampering him. So it is a fair way off his best for that damage to not be hampering him.
Yeah, when you're that far back on your normal race pace, then obviously there's got to be a fair bit of damage that's causing there. But Rayan's trying to put a lot of pressure there on Taufik. Let's see if Taufik can keep it straight there with a little bit of damage on Rayan. We'll see how easy. Now that Nissan, once it gets out of the corner, is not easy to overtake at all. I've been stuck behind Nissan a few times, and it's very, very painful to follow one of those things.
It's got some excellent drive, does the big old GTR. Obviously the Ford no slouch itself, good acceleration, poor top end from that restrictor, but I think really Rayan right now is just really, really on it. It didn't need to see this. This ridiculous car. Curtis is chiming in. Lap 20 big spin for Hignett, and he hit a curb at the loop, so Glen might be able to tee up a replay, but not going to force the issue. For now, Taufik actually looks like he put, unless it's just this camera angle, putting a bit of a gap to Rayan at the moment, so these guys are ebbing and flowing a little bit here.
Yeah, definitely even flowing. Like I said, it all comes down. It doesn't take much to bleed time on this track, especially in the wet. But look, I think Rayan, with the pace that he's got, I think he'll close it up. But I just don't believe he's going to have the straight line speed to overtake this Nissan. As I said, as you said as well, that Nissan, once it starts popping into third gear and going, it just keeps on pulling. It just doesn't stop. So going through the bus stop now, he's clipped through there nicely, and just look just how planted that car is. He's actually driving it very well and keeping it steady. So obviously you need to sort of work a little bit harder on that. If saying that the Nissan was pretty poor around here.
I mean, I said I felt that it was poor, but I always know, because there's always a Lucas Keys and there's always a Moyen Taufik who will fling this thing with no problem. So it's always a skill issue, but God, it didn't inspire a lot of confidence in me. That's all I'll say.
It is definitely frustrating when you see Keys and Taufik driving this thing. They just make it so simple. You think, oh, let's get this car. I reckon I'll be okay. And you go, nah, can't do what they do.
No, it's a good car, but it's not easy. It'll step out of line, particularly in the rear, pretty easily. But it's so lazy the way that it's like starts to spin that it's not hard to save. But to achieve the pace that these guys have, I mean, it's incredible.
I struggle to look at this car at the moment because, unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, it's got the red on it, and I swear that's got Ferrari badges on it. Oh,
it definitely does. You know what? JC pointing out a good battle happening here. We've got Pidgey on Pidgey action down for P17, P18. Dave Steepo and Matt Madden fighting each other at the moment. We might get eyes on that in a minute. We've actually got quite a few battles happening throughout here, but we're actually going to get that replay of Ben Hignett first and foremost. Whereabouts are we? This... Oh, yeah,
just
right.
a bit too much curb.
Yeah, so that's just after the loop, down the chute, a bit wide there, a bit of grass, copped a bit of here and there. So rough going for Hignett. So I was not wrong about damage. It was new damage. So yeah, that's it's a tough one for Hignett. We'll see where he comes out after that stop. But yeah, I mean, if he was going to fix it, he was going to do it earlier. But yeah, we'll see where he ends up.
He's just coming into the pits now, so look, with 8 minutes to go, you wouldn't fix it because depending on how much damage you got anywhere, I'd say you'd be close to that 10-second mark. You wouldn't fix it. You'd just be losing too many positions, unfortunately. So I don't think he will do it. Yeah,
sorry, I was thinking out loud in terms of the fact that if he wanted to fix it, he would have just come in immediately. There's no reason to fix it now. So whereabouts is Mr. Ellis? Car number 17. Help me out here, George.
Looks like he's going into the toe.
Yeah.
He's on the front straight. There he is.
So
there.
Glen all over it. Yeah. So do you see he's going to be well clear of Hignett, and I think Hignett's going to be definitely back from Taufik and Rayan. That's for certain. 216. Parker's going to go by as well, so he's probably going to slot potentially just ahead of Johnson, I would say, relatively safely. Yeah, he's getting going now.
Yeah, he's getting going now. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not lost too much time.
No, we're just going to see that obviously if he was slow to start off with, these guys might catch up to him, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I think he should be pretty fine. But yeah, I think that damage probably has cost him the spot to Parker, though, for the time being. So... well, I would say for the rest of the race, there's a pretty significant gap, but yes.
Yeah, with 7 minutes to go, I think he definitely will be able to maintain that fifth spot, even with the slower pace that he's got, and maybe fresher tyres on the car might help him out.
Yeah, so here's that aforementioned battle. It's Pidgey on Pidgey action, bit of a Pokemon battle, if you are a nerd, I guess. I don't know if their Pidgey is related to Pokemon, to be honest with you, but for now it's cooled off ever so slightly, and that's fallen off the back of Dave a little bit. I think timing tower not quite up to date, and we'll see if Matt can string a bit of goodness together to put the pressure back onto Dave here.
Yes, like I said, we'll hopefully put a bit of pressure on him, and hopefully they get it nice and tight there, and a little bit of action between the two would be great.
You know what, actually, Glenn, can we see P10 backholds? It's our last spot in the top 10. We've got Johnston and Monks and Ankan, actually, all very, very close together. Well, this is also a good battle here, but Parkin currently fending off Holmes. Oh God, but we need... maybe we can get a bit of picture-in-picture if Glenn would indulge me, but there's a lot of different battles happening here up and down the grid. You do see Buckerfield's currently also leading the AM class from Daniel Clark. Clark doing a good job here tonight as well, but for now, Parkin still fighting off the advance of the pro driver Holmes. It's so close as they throw it around the toe. We'll see if Holmes can serve something up here into the heel of the boot, if you will. But for now, he's going to stay tucked behind. And there we go, a bit of picture-in-picture. Love to see it. So we've got Backtold and Chalmers, actually. Oh my God, did that just happen? I was looking at the timing tower. Ah, God, broadcast. Me broadcast, not the broadcast. But Holmes is actually going to have a look at the inside. They are door to door, but not quite. And he's Parkin's going to keep to the inside. Doesn't quite use all the track. Holmes looking around the outside, but not quite. Has to tuck back in for the final corner. See if he can get a bit of a draft here down the pit straight to make something happen. Oh my God, I don't know where to look. I feel like so much is happening. But for now, Parkin holding on from the aggressive moves from Holmes. Oh my god,
It's
this
getting nasty down there for the top 10. Look at
it's
it.
like 5 cars. Oh my god.
They're all going back and forth in there. It's hard to see who's going on there at the moment. But look, Johnson in that Bentley is actually getting a little bit interested in trying to get past both of these guys. And then obviously you got Monks there trying to get back as well. So the damage, I don't think the damage is hurting too much. And there's 5 cars there going all for 10th spot.
Oh my god, did you just see Holmes with a humongous slide through the outer loop? He's yellow flagged briefly. I think he's fallen off the back of Parkin for the moment. So I'm going to turn my attention to this P10 battle. For now, Chalmers still in the lead from Bechtold. Johnston close behind. We do get that in our full picture for the moment. Monks still very close. Anken in the mix too. So Chalmers now has the lead. Gets a little bit deep there. All the way out on the curb, and it invites Bechtold down the inside. I think he's going to actually get the run before they even get to the bus stop. Johnston, sorry. Oh my god.
And Monks, look at them, they're all going too wide.
Monks side by side with Johnston. Chalmers almost hitting the wall. Chalmers pulls out. Monks is going to be near side by side, pulls back in for the bus stop. Oh my god, it's so close. Any mistake here, you're going to drop a bunch of positions, or you could gain heaps. For now, Chalmers staying really shallow as to not invite Monks up the inside for the moment. And Johnston so close to the back of Monks as well. They all get it turned in pretty nicely there. Chiritos going to be careful. He's going to get swallowed up by this action. Monks looks to the inside just a little bit. The move's not quite there just yet. Deucey Chalmers gets a little bit wide, and it's ever so enticing for Monks to potentially put it side by side. It's a bit of a touch. Little bit of a touch. Nothing too wrong with that. Monks tucks it back in, shows himself in the mirror for now, puts the pressure on Chalmers. But Monks compromises his line, trying to get the mind pump there on Chalmers. Johnston going to look to go all the way around, but it's not quite the fastest line.
I can't on the inside.
Oh my god, Anken escorting him out wide, not literally, but figuratively. He's going to have the inside for the corner, so Johnston losing out there. And they're still side by side. Johnston's going to have the outside for the final corner. I think Anken's going to hold on, but something's just happened, and Johnston's found himself on the inside and ahead of Anken. As we catch our breath for just a minute when they go down the pit straight.
Yes, now Monks is going to try to have a go at Chalmers again. He's gotten a good drive out of turn 1. Let's see how he goes through the S's, see if he can maintain that speed with not too much steering input, just to keep that speed going. The Aston's got a good top speed on that thing. It's a bit of a slide there by Monks, but he did save it now. Chalmers is trying to defend the inside line, but I think Monks might get this. See what happens. No, turns in. Any touch? No. Through the bus stops, they maintain a good drive and solid driving, tough driving. Love it. Side-by-side action there is fantastic. And Anken's trying to go back onto Johnston again. Does he get it? No, Johnston's on the inside there, so he's going to defend pretty hard going into the that corner now. Can he get the drive at it? And now we've got Monks on Chalmers again. This is just ebbing and flowing here.
Oh, this is just ridiculous, the way that these guys are going at it. The slight mistakes that are encouraging a nose on the inside, but they just, it's just ever so close. For now, they're holding on as they were. It's still Bechtold, Chalmers, Monks, Johnston, and Anken right at the back. They've traded places. And they're going to have this lap to resolve this, because Breno's on the last lap now, and he's only about but not even halfway through the lap. So we'll see who comes out on top to claim that last place in the top 10. Will it be Nathan Monks, who's had a bit of a shocker thus far, a bit of a spin? Johnston with his issues at lap 1, T1. Nothing of notes too much for Chalmers and Anken either. So we'll see who comes out. They cross the checkered line for the second to last time. Chalmers leading the way, throws it into T1, looking pretty nice, but probably a bit nicer there for Monks. He's just gets that speed. I think he's just really taking that corner just a little bit faster because he's always got that overspeed. We'll see if Monks can line something up, and I think he will. He's definitely close enough.
Oh, now from the inside, but he's on the outside. It's not going to make it easy for him. Oh, did he get the overrun on him? It's going to go into the bus stop. No, he doesn't. He tucks in behind. So now they're going through the S's again. Can Monks in it? Monks try to capitalise going into the toe. I think it's going to be maybe a chance to drive out of that to get into the heel, I think it's called. I think that's about the only other place you can do it. After that, I don't think you're going to make it. And Johnson and Atkin are going to be hoping for a bit of a mistake there so they can actually capitalise themselves. It's not going to be easy. The back marker in the front hasn't been too much involved either, so that hasn't affected them too much, which is the BMW. Now they're all going to the last drive. I think this is the last chance they've got to overtake going into the hill. Can Monks get it? No, he can't. He's tucking in. I think he might have resided the fact that he might not be able to get it, and he's not going to force the issue because he doesn't want to make a mistake right at the end now anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It's got to be a decisive move if it's going to get done. I think Chalmers just getting a little bit defensive there and probably not quite the optimal line. And God, Monks is so close. He can almost taste that top 10 finish, but not quite. I think Chalmers might hold on here. No mistakes to say the least, please. The Chalmers, they're so close. And there's a wiggle and I think there's a touch. And it's going to be a drag race to the finish line. Oh my God. And they hold on. Chalmers holds on. It's going to be Chalmers, Monks, Johnston, Ankin, Rosser and Viney come across the line after that battle. But oh my God, that was some incredible racing from those guys for about 2 laps straight. We do see Dave Stevenson hold on from Matt Madden. Those guys were battling that whole time as well. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah, no, very, very good skill there not to hit each other. And it was tough, hard racing. And that's what we'd like to see in the sprint races. Tough, hard racing. That's the best part of it.
Yeah, I think they're going to have the Logan Burton, Mitch Hobbs going to have to clip that one and show that to the academy. And that's how you do it. Because that was just ridiculous. Oh, got to catch my breath here. We've got a couple of our mid to late pack guys coming through. Parkin, Brickley, Buckerfield taking out that AM class win. Well done to Buckerfield. And that's going to be it for the cars on the track. Woo!
You'll be able to take a breath now. I think this is 2 weeks in a row that you've had some exciting racing.
Yeah, well, last week got a crazy finish as well. Aiden not here to compete this time with Monks, but Monks still getting himself caught up. But for the time being, our results, Brenner Ellis with an absolutely fantastic race, barely a foot wrong, from Taufik and Rayan, rounding out your top 3 overall. For the silver class, we do have Parker from Bechtold, from Chalmers, Bechtold and Chalmers in that epic battle towards the end. In our Pro-Am class, a very, very healthy class through here. Rockford from Ankin and Rosser rounding out the top 3 for your Pro-Am class. And for your AM class, it is Buckerfield and Clark by default because there's only 2 of them, but well raced nonetheless from them both. Jeez, George, do you have a driver of the day throughout all that?
Oh, there's a few of them. There is a few of them, but look, I'll say Ellis. He's got a car that's not easy to drive, and he just dominated from the front and did it easy, kept it nice and clean, and made he wasn't challenged, and he made it look very, very easy at the front. It was like he was just driving in the dry all day.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a very, very commendable effort from Ellis. As I said, barely a foot wrong. It's hard not to give it to Chalmers for that defense as well. That was just incredible through that last sequence, but it feels like a bit of recency bias. Rayan also had a pretty good race after the poor start, getting back up to P3 after dropping a fair way down. So that was a pretty solid effort as well. I'm going to give it to Chalmers though, because that was just incredible. But for now,
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I'm happy with that call from you.
we both get to pick one. It's all right. But for now, that's going to be it here from us at Octane Online Racing for this week. This has been Watkins, Glen, and the Thermaltake Sprint Series. Next week, we are heading to Suzuka for, I believe, a super sprint round, 2 30-minute races with a reverse top 10 in the second. So get excited for that. That's going to be pretty racy, if I do say so myself. My name has been Blake Griffiths. Glen Germain has been on the camera, and I've been joined by George Saganius in the booth for his sophomore session. Thank you so much for joining me, George.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the guidance. And let's bring on next week's sprint series.
For sure. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
Good night.